The Michael Waddell Podcast is presented by Spandau Arms in partnership with Poncho Outdoors, Folds of Honor, and Cigars International.
I had never got a whooping I didn't own.
You knew you needed it.
Oh, man, I did it.
Oh, yeah.
But I had got so many whoopings. If my brother never could do something, and then mama say, who did this? I tell I did.
You just take the whooping.
Because I got immune to him. It didn't even hurt no more. Mama say, you ain't gonna cry.
This is probably the most exciting conversation I had on the whole podcast because I got Paw Paw Waddell, Edwin Waddell, or James Edwin Waddell. He had a many aliases, but now everybody just calls him Paw Paw. He's everybody's Paw Paw. Of course, my dad, and then Billy Joe Ellison. He's my black daddy because I've known Bill. We were just talking about it. I've known him ever since I was 4 or 5, working on jobs and stuff. And
hide from work.
And hide from work. I'd be over there in the corner. I think you two men who taught me to appreciate hoop cheese and Vienna sausages and potted meat.
That's right.
Because we'd sit around them shade trees at lunchtime working them jobs. Obviously, Bill Joe laid bricks and I've always said when I think of Bill Joe and I think of Paw Paw Waddell, Edwin, there's all this mystery about these Egyptian pyramids. And I thought, man, it ain't too much of a mystery to me. Bill Joe and Paw Paw could have went there and built them things.
Oh, yeah. If we had been back in those days, we'd have built.
There ain't no doubt. They didn't know Bill Joe or Paw Paw.
I was just talking to Sammy a while ago. We got to talking about education. I told him, I said, this right here is our education, our hands.
That's
we learned
right.
to work with these hands, and that was our education right there.
Still is,
and it still is. We use them every day. Sammy was supposed to hook up with me earlier this week, but you know what he was doing? He was working. He couldn't get over here. He was laying rock up on 190 for Mr. Infinger. He said, I can't get over there now. He said, I got a little job over here I got going. And so, look, we hooked up with the end of the week. He finished it yesterday. I called him, and he got finished with that job. I said, well, it's
about
all
10
good.
o'clock yesterday morning and went home. We took and went to bed. They be like the kill.
Tired. Now, how old are you right now, Bill Joe?
I'll be 79 in November.
79. Paw Paw 73.
Yep. He got a few years on me.
What's that saying, Paw Paw, you say about hard work?
Yep. Hard work ain't going to hurt you. I said, it is what it is.
If I heard you say if hard work could kill you, I'd been dead a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all both wouldn't
Same
be here,
way.
would you?
Sammy would be too. We wouldn't be talking to you.
When I come up, I always had something to do. If I was staying with my grandparent or either at home, you get off the school bus, you pull them half good shoes off and put the show no regular shoes on to get in the field.
And get to working.
I've been working there since I was 11 years old.
Holy cow.
Yep.
I work every summer, buy my own clothes. I've been a sort of independent guy. Mm-hmm. I didn't want mom and dad to spend their money on me.
Wanted your own money.
I like to spend my own money on me. And I get at my wife and daughter right today about buying me stuff. And now, you looking at the real Bill Joe right now. This is the way I like to dress.
That's right.
But I can clean up.
I've seen you clean up a little bit.
Every now and then, I don't care nothing about it though.
I've seen you bust out that Boone's Farm wine or that little cognac. Bill Joe put a little squirt of cologne on. You still got.
Yeah. Now I like to smell good. I ain't got to be all that sharp now.
But you're gonna be clean, ain't you?
I'm gonna clean now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I laugh with my wife every night. I say, I don't think I'm gonna take a shower tonight. She said, where you gonna sleep at? But that's something I say 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take a shower because hell, I'm sort of polar night. 911 might have to come get me, and them folk don't want to wait on you in the hospital smelling like that now.
You won't be smelling like no goat in the emergency room, do we?
No, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna take my shower now. If it do hurt, I laugh with my wife, and I be in there taking a shower, and then when I get ready to get out, I holler. She said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "This water hurts so bad." She said, "Man, you sick."
Well, we go way back, Sammy. I was looking this morning before I left the house, and I got a place where I had a pantry. Sammy bricked it up. Years ago, we had it as a pantry for canned goods when Mama Susan was living. So we took that out, and then this is one of the things I remember. So we took out the bifolding doors and we bricked it up and put a wood stove in there back when we had foster children. But there was an electrical outlet over there that was still hot, and Sammy was using that dark mortar. And that thing shocked him when he did. He slung mortar, said it looked like a machine gun went up on the ceiling. Right at my house, right there. And then he built my fireplace. We done all the underpinning.
I think about that fireplace this morning, because you had a gas starter in there.
Yep, exactly.
And hit the leak down up under and blow the backside of it out.
Yeah. The chimney, we had an old gas starter, kind of like you got.
I do remember that. Yeah, and it blew the backside of that chimney facing Paw Paw's house.
Exactly.
You're like been blowing down the Jeff house.
Yeah, that thing, Sammy had to come back. You can see where it's passed now, but down there where the ash clean out, gas leaked down in there, and somehow or another we had a leak and didn't know it. Well, a spark went in it, that chamber where the ashes were. Boom! It blew the whole back of the chimney out. Jimmy, he had to come back and fix it. Well, nothing to do with the bricklaying. It was the man that hooked that gas up.
That's right. You hooked the gas up wrong.
Yeah.
So how long have y'all known each other? I mean, 20 years old, 20, 23, early 20s?
But Ray Waddell might have been 17. I might have been 20 when we met each other.
And y'all been working. I don't think my summer job, every summer when I was big enough and strong enough to help, me and actually old Jackson out here, old Boo, we'd always show up at the job site. And ever since I remember being on the job site, if it was a brick or a rock or anything, Bill Joe would be there. And and it's some of my fondest memories. It's some of my best memories and my scariest memories because you get there 7:38, and if you had to jump in the crew with y'all, I'd be like, Lord, when is lunch bell gonna ring? Because y'all were the working the son of a gun, still do.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to work with y'all now because I get mad. Dad to come over to my farm, and we'll start off on a project, Bill Joe, and you can appreciate this because you laid the brick columns out there at my house, and I'm like, man, Dad's over here on my place and working me like a dog. I be hiding from. I be in my own house. I lock the doors and hide from Papa when he comes over there. Even if we planting food plots, I'm like, man.
But now me and him both started off. We met each other. Both of us was a helper.
Yeah.
I call it a go-getter.
Yeah.
Whatever they need. I was working with a guy named James Dempsey. That's why I learned on him. He was working with
Roland Dukes.
J.E. Dukes.
J.E. Dukes and Roland.
J.E. was Roland's dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's how we met.
Yep.
And I ended up doing all his brickwork, and I ended up doing Roland them brickwork.
So you started subcontracting real early, right when Dad got started in building homes.
All the property.
And then you started doing rolling. So that was
Right.
a kind of the kickstart when you went out on your own.
Yeah.
And then Dad just going out on his own.
Well, I was just a carpenter's helper. I wasn't even a carpenter then. Bill Joe was just, we used to call it a motorfolk.
And we
helper, brick helper.
That's all we did. Whatever they needed, we bring it to them.
Yep.
The same stuff you were running from, we run to it.
You run to it. 'Cause it was a paycheck.
Exactly.
It was a new pair of clothes, new pair of
And
shoes.
then I had my daughter had been born, and I didn't never want to be on child support, so I made sure I had some money to see about it. Mm-hmm. And she done turned 59 now. And I said, girl, you getting old, and you making me older.
That's right.
But
That seems to be something lost. There's a lot of dads out there now just,
they just a donor.
yeah.
That's all they is. They don't see about kids no more.
That's unbelievable. Well, y'all did. Y'all, like I said, I mean that sincerely. So many things I learned from not just my dad, but the people, my dad's friends of working, you being one of them. I remember James Anthony being another one, and the conversations around lunch, I'd sit around, and obviously I talk a lot, and people pick on me like, man, you talk a lot. I said, you don't know, I was raised up around people.
Talk a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah, we sat around and laugh and cut up, and you around them crews, man, we go to lunch together, sit around a shade tree.
Yep.
Like I said, and the sarcasm and the being ribbed on.
But now I love I love construction because you can take break when you get ready, and then when it rains, the good Lord give you a day off. You don't have to have no doctor excuse. I wouldn't work inside of a plant for nothing.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, me neither.
That reason I try not to get caught doing nothing wrong because I don't want to be in jail either.
That's right.
I did wrong now.
We all fall short.
But
I know it.
I feel real short. I did everything stupid I could when I was about 19 to 25.
I did too.
I know I didn't have a whole lot of raising. My mom and dad divorced when I was about 8 years old, and they drug me to California in 1962. Now you talking about a mess.
Now y'all obviously drove. It wasn't no airfare.
No. 1962, my mom and dad divorced. My mom, she wanted better things. My dad was kind of nonchalant. You know, if he had a roof over his head and he had him a few little drinks of shine, you know, and some groceries, look, he was good. It was just the way he come up. But my mom wanted more for us, so they split up because my mom wanted more for the kids, you know, us. So in 62, they woke me up in the middle of the night. Mom and Dad was already separated, and we packed up in a car and lit out to California, and it wound up being at the end of the Louisiana, Mississippi, we run out of money. So my grandparents, my mama's mama, Beatrice Williams, lived in California with her husband. So I guess we was going out there to make a better life for each other. And then my mama had this boyfriend, and we kind of eloped with. But anyway, long story short, they were 6 kids from Louisiana in the back seat of a car, 3 grown-ups, and we run out of money in Mississippi. My grandmother had to wife some more, so we went to California in 62 and stayed about a year. But you talking about country.
Do you remember what part of California?
It was Long Beach.
Really?
Long Beach. We stayed out there almost a year, but I remember the first day we come off a dirt road in Booger Bottom, right there where I live at now, where you was raised. We got out there, and look, they had boulevards and streets. Look, first day we all about got run over, and we ain't never seen that much traffic. Yeah, I mean, you talking about country done gone to town now.
Yeah.
But anyway, we wind up, and then going on with the rest of the story, but we wind up staying out there a year. Then we came back to Alabama, and we got so sick that I was seeing things. We stayed in the projects for a few months, and then from the projects, then we went to Alabama and stayed several years, and we were sharecropping. This old stepdad of mine was named James Gill, but he never liked me nohow, so, and I was kind of mild.
You probably didn't like him either.
Exactly. But he didn't like me, and I didn't like him. But long story short, we stayed there about a couple of years over in Alabama. And anyway, he made us get up and go to the dairy barn, had about 40, 50 dairy cows, and we'd had to get up like at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, go to the dairy barn. And our job was the nasty job, me and my older brother, Jeff. And anyway, we'd go to the dairy barn. We'd had to get all the cows in, put silage in. It wasn't no manual stuff.
Shovel all the crap out.
Yep, we'd had to go in there and get all the cows in the barn, get them fed down with a wheelbarrow and silage. Had to climb up in the top of the silo, throw the silage down to the wheelbarrow, and then you had to roll it out and put so many shovels of silage in each front of the cow. So when we got all the cows in, got them ready to milk, then I had to go back down to the house to get ready to go to school. But I always told this story, and it still makes me mad, and God forgive me, but I hope that God didn't ask for forgiveness. I hope he burned in hell, but maybe he did. You know, God forgives. But anyway, in my book, I hope he didn't, because then one night at the supper table down at the old sharecropper's house, you know, and we was getting $80 a week. I remember $80 a week, and we got a 4-bedroom house.
So you mean your family was earning $80 a week, not you?
No, just the family.
Yeah.
The whole family, $80 a week, and then he wound up with his 2 kids over there, and there was 4 of us. So you talking?
Would he make them work too?
Yeah. Well, now my baby brother Ricky, he went up with his oldest son, so they double teamed when they had to go to the dairy. But I had to go by myself, and then Jeff, my older brother, had to go by himself. But then when it was time for the young ones to go, they would both go and fill in for what we could do.
So they was always 2 of them versus 1 of y'all.
Anyway, this story right here will make you mad. But So and he was all about yes, sir, and no, sir, and I don't got no problem with that. But anyway, one night at the supper table, I said no to my mama instead of no, ma'am. And he corrected me. What'd you say, boy? I said, no, ma'am. Well, so be it. It was my night to go to the dairy barn. So, you know, and it was cold. Had 2 pair of pants on. You didn't wear your best shoes up there because you're going to get messed, come back. But anyway, I got all the cows in, got them fed down, and he said, hey, boy. He called me in the milk room. And I went in the milk room. He said, you remember last night at the supper table when you said no to your mama instead of no, ma'am? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, you need to be taught a lesson. And look, he beat me. I'm talking about, I had 2 pair of pants on. He pulled his belt off, and he whooped me so hard, the ceiling went about 7 foot in that milk room, and he was whooping me so hard, he busted a floodlight out of the ceiling.
He was swinging it.
He was banging it. Had 2 pair of pants on. You know, it hurt my feelings more than anything. So I get back down to the house that morning, and, you know, I walk in the back porch, you know, where you had to take your shoes off, and all the rest of the kids getting ready to go to work. My mama and my sister was the oldest. And I kind of broke down. You know, it hurt my feelings and pride more than it did me. And my mama said, what's wrong? So I pulled my pants down and showed her those whelps. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know this forever and ever. So my mama was upset because he had beat me. My sister was upset. And then she went, my sister didn't go to school that day. So we all went to school. And then later on, I found out that he slapped both of them around once they confronted him about that, you know. But, yeah.
So they said something about what he did to you, and he went ahead and put hands on them.
Yeah, he did that morning. But my mom and my sister never told me that for years later, that you know, when they confronted him, he slapped them around and threatened them. Yeah, he didn't like me. He was mean. But like I said, and then on top of that, if you didn't make A's and B's, then you get another whipping. In other words, you had to go get up. But anyway, long story short, after all is said and done, I got behind on school because my mom wanted better for us kids, and we got drug around from pillar to post and wind up, moved about several times, got behind in school. That's one reason I don't have education. Like I told Sammy, this is my education right here, and his too. You know, but anyway, it taught me a lesson. If anything, it taught me a lesson to how to treat kids because I didn't get treated right as a step parent, and I never had stuff growing up that most kids had. So, you know, I tell folks, I know they've heard me say it, I lived my childhood through you know, my kid. Right. I made sure he had enough stuff that I never had. But anyway, yeah, I can go on and on and on, but we always say, don't make excuses where you come from. We know where we come from. We were just talking earlier, me and Sammy, we was talking about all famous people. People got a lot of money, but you know they ain't no richer in heart than me and Sammy is right here, because we know where I was come from.
Yeah,
that's the truth. And then you come in the world without nothing, you're gonna leave it.
That's exactly right. It's just a piece of paper.
I tell my wife, I say, well, one thing about it, we have more than we need, and I say, we ain't got to worry about nobody kidnapping our grandchildren for that ransom money. So
That's exactly right.
We ain't got to worry about that.
No, exactly
right. Because if I had millions of dollars, somebody want my granddaughter.
Exactly
That's right.
For $1 million.
That's exactly right.
So,
hold them ransom.
Poor folks ain't gonna rob poor folks.
No, that's right.
Nobody have that.
Well, let me ask you this. Did either one of y'all go to one of them safe rooms, you know, where you go cry and holler and scream? Y'all ever been to one of them?
But I used to go down in the field and just holler and cry.
Did you?
Now, Waddell might remember, but I know you don't remember. I used to have to go down there and feed the hogs, work in the garden. A guy named Fat Domino used to sing a song, say, I'm going to be a wheel one day.
Yeah.
And
I know that song.
I go down there and work in the field and cry. And so when I turned about 16 and a half years old, I wanted to leave home before then, but Mama said, I have you put in farm school because you can't leave till you get 16. I say, thank you for the information. When I turned about 16 and a half, out that door I went.
Gone.
Yep. And I lived with some people. They were nice to me. I paid little rent with them, and then I cooked and cleaned. And I've been cooking there since I was 9. Because my mother, she was a nurse. She worked at night. She buy the groceries. All my brother could cook and iron and clean up. And but now, when a guy, you can't take your parents' house. You can't do what they say do. Hit the road, Jack.
We're going to stop for a quick break, but please don't go anywhere. We got so much to come.
Spandau Arms was founded with a simple idea. The best part of hunting isn't the gear, it's the memories. From the first rooster rise of the season in the tall grass to the last second opportunity on the target buck as sunset closes in. Spandau believes firearms should be built to perform, priced to be accessible, and designed to become an essential piece of your hunting story. Their lineup includes field-ready shotguns and precision-driven rifles built for hunters, competitors, and recreational shooters who know that quality and dependability matter more than the hype. Born from the experience of American hunters and crafted by generations of gunmakers, each Spandau firearm is built for real-world performance in the moments that matter.
If you love a good stogie like I do, look no further than cigarsinternational.com. They got you covered from soup to nuts. No matter what brand of cigar you're looking for, no matter what accessories you're looking for, if you log into cigarsinternational.com/Waddell, you're also going to receive immediately a 20% discount on your order. And the cool thing about it, there's no limits, there's no minimums. You just simply order, shop, put in your discount code, which is Waddell, and you're going to get 20% off and free shipping. No matter if you're looking for humidors or any of your accessories, no matter where you want to have a good stogie, around a campfire or around the ranch, you got it all right there at cigarsinternational.com. And don't forget to add /Waddell for your 20% discount and free shipping. That's basically what y'all both did.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Hit the road.
Because you knew, like it or not, they had the rule book. That was their home.
And you going by them, too.
So you get out on your own, you had your own rule book. Like it or, whether it be tough or whether it's nice.
But now, I enjoy the way I come up. It made me good.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree.
It made me good.
My raising made me who I am. Like I said, I learned by the wrongdoings to do the right doing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, y'all are, y'all's story, I think, will resonate with a lot of people hearing this because, I look back, and even when I look at just hard-working men and women, and even when you think about the black-white thing or the racism, I'm sure it existed, but, when I was 16, and my mother passed away, and it seemed like everybody loved my mama. She was a good mom. She loved Bill Joe. She loved everybody. But I remember it's etched in my mind, Bill Joe being a pallbearer told my mama. I get choked up thinking about it. And I think about all the crazy division, all the crazy stuff you hear. And that's one reason this story is important because, I mean that. It's like, this is what made me. I didn't have it as tough as y'all. The toughest I had it was having to work with y'all. But I still got to home riding my dirt bike. I still had the new pair of Air Jordans, Yeah. And now sometimes I remember, I told this story. I remember when old Michael Jordan come out with them Air Jordans. I went up to Columbus, and my mama was with me. We was getting ready to shop for school. And I remember we paid $67 for them shoes. It was $67. And you ain't going to find no pair of Air Jordans $67 these days. But back then, and my mom said, I'm going to get you these shoes, but you better not tell your daddy what I paid for them.
She snuck around all the time. That's one thing that she does. She loved Michael, but she'd sneak around and buy the name brand stuff because, look, we didn't have that kind of money, but she made sure that Michael had the name brand stuff. And I'd go in there and say, where'd you get that? Oh, Mama got it for me. Like, what? That cost this much money.
I was country too, but I'd go to school. I feel like a clown. She'd have me dressed up, and she didn't have no girl. She put them perm in my hair. One time, she had my hair grow out and made me look like old Don Johnson off Miami Vice. I reckon. I don't know what she was doing.
She took care of that boy.
But now, my wife and my daughter, when she was probably 5, 6 years old, she had a little a blue pantsuit thing. I love to see her in that thing.
Look nice.
Yeah,
pretty.
I say, look like old Billy Joe Ellison here, don't it?
Some fancy clothes on.
Yeah, and later my wife used to have people make her and my daughter clothes too. And now my wife dress the rest today. And I get tired of looking at UPS and FedEx.
Amazon.
They don't come to my house for me, man. They just pull upside the road and back down through there just fast. They don't got used to that driveway. I say, no.
Lisa done found them too,
right.
ain't she?
Exactly.
My wife found them too.
I say, why? And the guy named Wesley, I ain't seen him in the last month or two, drive for UPS. I said, man, why you keep bringing? He said, well, if she ordered, we have to deliver it.
We got to deliver.
Yeah, and so that's what he do. I just be joking with him.
That's right. Well, they say you can always tell a good man by what their wife is wearing and what they driving. You know, and that's one thing I took from y'all. You know, I seen y'all come to work on the job, be in some beat up work boots, you know, old raggedy T-shirt. But anytime you saw, you know, my mama, she was in a nice car. You know, your wife always dressed beautiful, looking good. Your youngins, and so
don't say that so loud; she might hear you.
I know it. She is a beautiful woman. Man, I tell you what, it's where you know, in this conversation already, where in the world, and I ain't no doom and gloom guy, but I feel like a lot of that's being lost. Like that attitude y'all had back in the 60s, to where, all right, I might not like mom and dad's rules. I might not like authority, but to get my own authority, I got to learn to be independent. And I feel like that's being lost. And how did you become independent? Doing something that sucked a lot. It could have been mixing mortar. It could have been, you know, pulling lumber, green lumber off a shelf and throwing it up on the roof or out of the back of a ladder rack. But y'all did it. And it seemed like somewhere folks now, the youth and even some grown men, they feel like somebody owes them something or entitled.
All right.
What happened?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, have you seen it too, though, Bill Joe?
Now, 35 years ago, used to pull up on the corner looking for some help. You have to tell some of them get off the truck. Now, when you pull up on the corner, they turn their back where you won't ask them about going to work.
They don't want to work.
No, I ain't going to work. No.
But now you go in the store and get you a pack of cigarettes, come back out, but one of them want $2.
They want you to give money, but they don't want to go earn it.
Don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't grow up around them people. Y'all raised me around hard. Now, they might be some mischief. I mean, I remember even them old Falk boys used to work. Now, they might have done smoked them a couple dime bags before you picked them up.
Yeah.
Maybe even had a sip of whiskey.
No.
But they were there to work, running them roofs. Some of your help, Bill Joe. They were some characters, man.
But now, here's the guy. I love him. He dead now. You remember Mr. Frank?
Yeah.
And I think when he passed, he was 82. And he worked with me about 2 years after he quit working with me. He caught pneumonia, died. But there was the working, and you talking about my hand. He had some hand, man. One leg.
Tough.
Mike Tyson was nothing.
He was tough.
But that man hit you and knock you out.
He a bit
Send you to the promised land.
strong.
Yeah, he was strong. He had been in the Marine, Air Force.
I remember him.
You didn't grab holding him.
Oh, no.
Didn't give him no lip.
Yeah. But back when me and Sammy come along, you know, like I said, we was both helpers, but, you know, there wasn't no money. There wasn't that much money, but you worked and you got paid what you could.
You on every bit you got.
That's exactly right. I know in 73, I left Columbus. But in 73, I left Columbus. I was working with Bob Carter. I worked at Fort Benning, and I helped build some mobile oil stations, driving back and forth to Columbus. Now, and in 72, I bought a 1972 Datsun. They didn't have Nissan. It was a Datsun pickup truck.
I remember that truck.
Paid $24.95. No radio, no air. But that was my first new truck. $2,495.
It was a long bed, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was red, and drove it back and forth. In 73, I come back up to Manchester and went to work. But when I left in 73, and come back. You was born after I come back up to Manchester in Meriwether County, went to work. I was making $4.50 an hour, driving an hour one way. I had to furnish my tools, which was a 100-foot of drop cord, a framing square, my nail bag, a drill, and a skill saw, making $4.50 an hour, driving back and forth to Columbus. But you know what? I had as much money then as I do now.
Had so much left money.
Exactly.
On Monday morning.
Yep. And I finally got me one guy that lived in Waverly Hall that rode with me. He got a job down there. And look, at one ride, I think I was charging him $10 a week or $15, whatever it was. He paid for my gas. So I had one rider. And look, that old Dawson truck, man, it
got good gas mileage, rolling.
That was in 72.
But now I'll talk to my son one day, and I say, I remember when I used to work, when I started land brick, I was making $4 an hour. He said, $4 an hour? I said, now I can make $400 a day and still broke. Because price of stuff don't went sky high.
That's right.
But I'll tell you how I went to the store to get my mother some snuff. And that was 1963. I see Jane Dempsey and a guy named Emma Hodney. Both of them passed away now. They were laying bricks on the house. I stood out that side of the road probably an hour. Lightman got a whiff of being late bringing my mother's snuff back. And I say, now, when I get big, that's what I'm going to do right there.
You was watching their craft.
Yeah.
You was watching them.
And it stuck right there. And so when I turned about 16 and a half years old, I went back there and stopped and asked him about a job. He said, you really want to work? I said, I got it. And I found an old trowel out there in his backyard rusty. I took some sand and a block and rubbed it, cleaned it up, and I started laying brick with that trowel. And then he found out I could lay brick, and he went and bought me another trowel, a brand new trowel, and then I ain't labored no more.
I be dang. So when you started, though, you was all about, you was shoveling the sand, mixing the mortar.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything was in a wheelbarrow back then. Did y'all even have one of them mixers?
Oh, no. Yeah, set a little motor, what they call a motor box.
Yeah.
Up on some blocks, and I call it Two-Eyed Susie, with the hole.
That's right.
And pull that motor. And I didn't let them run out neither.
No, because you would be in trouble. You let them, they get a good flow going on laying them bricks.
What was the mixture then, Sammy, when you mix it? So many sands or so many? 4 to 1?
2 to 1.
2 to 1?
Yeah.
So two
sand and one mortar.
Yeah, with shovel. That's it. You had a mix. Joe did.
And then if you get it too wet, add a little bit more sand, add a little bit more mortar.
Yeah.
Dry it out.
Yeah, they'll let you know that if that the guy.
If it was too thick or too soupy, they'd let you. They'd holler at you.
Oh no, you better not put it on that bowl too soupy.
They be mad.
Oh man, he said, "How can we lay brick with this stuff running?"
They be mad at you.
Yeah, but then see, I learned how to do all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that guy, he used to go around in what I call a speed pole. Mm-hmm. Put that 2 or 4 up on the corner. I had learned how to level 4 1/4, 4 1/2, call what side the brick is for the window sill to go up on there. And I learned how to do all that and coast it down, because you got to start from the level point up and go down, then come back up, where you make it level all the way around the house. It wasn't nothing to it to me.
Just took to it.
And I thank Jesus Christ for that talent, right?
Man, yeah.
He still do it.
So Mr. Dempsey, he taught you a lot of those when you was watching them.
Yeah. I learned from him.
Just watching.
Yeah. If he pad gas, I'll rip behind him.
Man.
Look at dead at him.
You were right there on his tail.
I was dead on him. Yeah. And he messed around and had an accident on the Northside Drive in Atlanta, got paralyzed. They say he never walked no more, but he did, but he had to use a cane. And he said he never thought he'll be on the receiving end. Mm-hmm. And well-dressed guy. Mm-hmm. He said, now when you lay brick, clean up, be neat around your job.
So around the job, he'd clean, don't have a bunch of mess.
No. He said, now you get paid for all that, and that'll get you another job.
There you go.
Yep, being neat and
have
clean.
Class about yourself, class about your workmanship, taking care of people's property, and they know they just more trust, and they know they hired the right crew.
Here's the guy out there. He was a dentist, in Fayetteville. I think that was Highway 92 in Fayetteville. His daughter finna get married, and he had a pool out there. I had to build him a lattice wall all the way around it. So I didn't haul the stuff off, but I got me and my helper pile all of it up. When I got through with that job and left there, that man get me $700 bonus, cause he say, you ain't asked me for about no money, cause a heap of guys want some money every other day.
That's right.
And and then you cleaned up behind yourself.
Yeah.
Makes a difference.
And he get me $700 bonus.
Golly.
Yeah, that talking about learning as you go. And I remember back in the day, I had bought my first loan that my daddy signed at the bank, F&M Bank in Manchester down there, and I still do business with them. Sammy knows where it's at in Manchester now.
Yeah, I do.
But anyway, wind up, my dad co-signed for $1,000 for a 65 GTO that I bought. That was my first car, first co-sign. My dad went with me, and that's the only time anybody ever signed. But anyway, 65 GTO, and I wound up getting a job up in Riverdale. I had some old boys in Warm Springs. Otis Chapman down there, he had a service station. Everybody knew who Otis was in Warm Springs. Well, I started buying gas. But anyway, somehow or another, I hooked up with these Phillips boys. And they all liked to drink. None of them had a license. None of them had a car. But anyway, I wound up having 2 or 3 of them. So they helped me get on. And I was in Riverdale, driving all the way to Riverdale. That's east of Fayetteville, framing. So they got me on as a carpenter's helper. And I won't never forget it. And I didn't know a whole lot about carpentering. I don't think I was about 17 at the time, somewhere along in there. So I got up there, and I nailed several studs on the wrong side of the line. I done bought me a nail bag, and the guy that was over that framing crew, he was framing for a living. But anyway, he knew I wasn't no carpenter. But anyway, I had to borrow somebody's cat claw to pull them nails out, and put the stud on the right side of the X. And I won't never forget it. I think it may have been the first day I was out on the job there as a carpenter's helper. He said, when you come tomorrow, he said, don't come unless you got a nail puller. So I went that same afternoon to Manchester. I got home time enough. I went and bought me a cat claw because I wanted to work. But long story short, them guys that worked with me, they paid for my gas bill. They would ride up and down the road. That didn't have no air conditioning, old 65 GTO. I should have not sold it, but I did. Anyway, I sold the thing for $350. But anyway, them guys would pay me every week to ride, and when I got through paying my gas, I was charging at Otis Chapman's down in Warm Springs. Gas was, I think, somewhere around 50, 55, 60 cents a gallon. That's how long it been. Anyway, when I got through paying my gas bill, shoot, I was rich. I had money left. I paid my gas bill, still made money off them guys, but they like to drink now.
Yeah. You've been there getting the gas. They've been there getting them a six-pack.
Every now and then, they'd be so messed up in the morning that I'd park in the shade out there and never get out of the car.
So they'll start drinking at 7 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
They never did stop all night.
Hard workers, kind of like dope heads now, weekend dope heads. They'll work all week, but then for the weekend, they broke Monday and Tuesday, same thing.
They were getting beer money and pot money, wasn't it?
Same principle it is today with drug heads, but back then there's more alcoholics,
Yeah.
Exactly right.
But anyway, it did seem like it still seemed like they worked. Like now it's almost like they ain't even working for the beer money.
They begging for the beer money.
Begging, they ain't working. At least they work. They had a skill.
But now, back in then, 35 years ago, everybody worked for their habit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Whatever they needed, they worked for it.
Yeah, if you was a womanizer, you was trying to get that money for the women or for the beer.
If you wanted to gamble, think about your children, you did it.
Yeah.
But now
they live off the government.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. They have drover babies, live off the government, get that check, ride around in a Cadillac, and I ain't calling no names. You see it every day. Go to the grocery store and get behind one of them. Look here.
Oh, yeah.
Have more groceries than me and you can ever buy.
Have that peach card.
That's right.
Well, she gone.
Gone.
But a girl took me to death over the hamp one day. I had got off work, and she said, Bill Joe, buy me a beer. I said, baby, I ain't got no money. She said, you work all the time, you have some money. I said, I get you some money the other day. She said, you ain't give me D. I said, didn't you get a check?
That's right. What about that welfare check? Yeah, you paid for it. You paid your taxes.
Smart A then.
She was mad at you then.
Yeah, but now I'm telling the right. I'm paying my taxes.
You were telling them right.
Yeah.
But that's the key word. You know what? Here's the thing. Y'all had a hard raising. Both y'all left home at 16. But the one thing y'all had was accountability. And a lot of these people don't have no accountability, and people hate the truth. She didn't like you called her out on the truth. But she's still begging.
I busted her.
You busted her. She didn't want none, she didn't want that conversation. She just wanted your money and sympathy.
Yeah.
But she didn't want you to remind her of her accountability.
The 7th or 8th of the month. And I say, I gave you some money the other week. She said, you ain't gave me D. I said, didn't you get a check the first of the month?
That's right.
That's right.
She said, you smart ass. But that's all right.
They don't like to hear the truth. The same thing's going on today. You know, in this world, they don't want to hear the truth. If you tell the truth about it, then you're just in trouble. But if that's what's wrong, nobody speaks the truth. If we speak the truth, like some of these other people down the left, look, we'd be in a war right now. I mean, you can't speak the truth.
That's what I'm proud of the most, is what I saw through y'all's eyes and y'all's effort in taking care of your youngins. I was a kid that obviously Dad and Mom took care of me, and not only that, foster kids, all your youngins you took care of. And now I see that people want to put certain people in classes, and like even when I talk about whether it's black, white, Hispanic, you know, it doesn't matter the culture.
All of our kids.
And then what happened was, though, it seemed like when I grew up in Booger Bottom, it seemed like I never remember seeing things as black and white. I saw either sorry or hardworking and good. And it seemed like somewhere along the way, you know, you go to Booger Bottom now and you see drugs and you see sorry people. And it's white people laying around ain't hitting on nothing. Mm-mm. But then you can go to Manchester.
All over the world.
And all of them, yeah, they all kind of looking culture of people sitting on the porch ain't hitting a lick at a snake. Oh. And it maddens me is to think, to see where y'all come from and what y'all built, and being able to still be y'all's age and be healthy enough to get up these stairs, go to work. Like I said, we couldn't even do the podcast. We was going to do it 4 or 5 days ago. Bill Joe had a job come up.
Exactly.
What's more important, to be on a podcast, it could be heard across the country, or to go make another $400 in a day? I can tell you what still takes precedent is accountability, because the family needs it. That's unbelievable. I mean, now people will just take off work because they woke up and they don't feel good. You know, how many days y'all go to work feeling like crap?
Man,
sick?
A lot.
Yeah.
Running a fever.
Yeah.
And I know, what's his name? Emmett Collins up there.
Yeah, Emmett.
And me and a friend of mine, he passed too. I was up there raiding the fireplace up higher. It was cold, and I had an outset. He said, how you wake, man, your jaw swole up? I said, if I sit at home, he gonna be swole up. I say, I'm gonna make the money. Now I can go to the dentist.
That's right.
But now, a girl named Marie Terry, I had an outset, dentist couldn't put
hurting.
She said, get you a hard toothbrush, wet it, and put some salt on it. She said, it gonna hurt now. Put it on that rubber. I tried it. It hurt. I had to spit it out. And then I said, I'm gonna bust this outset. Yeah. I did it again. Man, tear running out my eye, but I busted. But you talking about felt good.
You ready to go there?
Man, that let that pressure off my head. Yeah. It was hurting all over. My whole head was hurting.
You felt like you could you could do the bricks on a whole school the next day, didn't you?
I felt like a brand new person did.
That was a salt cured abscess. A salt cured it, didn't it?
Cut your hand.
That salt burnt. It was burning. Woo. But now it didn't last about 10 minutes. But my abscess been hurting 2 days.
That's right.
I can stand 10 minutes. But now day after day with that abscess on there. And I back then I still love to eat, but now you couldn't eat right because your mouth was hurting. Mm-hmm. But now my wife took me. She said, I went down there, had a cyst in my gum. He cut a little piece out, And then I come home. I was hungry. My wife said, "How can you eat with 4 stitches in your mouth?" I put it on the good side, baby.
This other side ain't hurting.
Right. Ain't nothing wrong on the other side.
No. But now you got to go through you got to do something stupid to learn.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you don't do nothing wrong, you don't know what right is. You have to make mistakes to find yourself.
There you go.
And I made a heap of.
And then both of y'all, the mistakes y'all made, who was there to pull you through it? You.
Yep.
You have to pull yourself out of it.
That's
Yeah,
exactly right.
yeah.
Because my dad say, "You don't got big enough to go to town." He said, "Now you go over there and make your bed hard, sleep in it till it gets off." Because he said, "I'm not coming to get you. I told you, do not do nothing you don't supposed to do."
There you go.
And that's one of part of that hard raising that was
And he meant it too.
beautiful, yeah.
He meant it. But thank Jesus Christ, I never did have to spend the night in jail. I went for the stupid stuff about a couple hours. Mm-hmm. But now, I learned then, don't go back.
Yeah.
And I ain't been back then.
What was y'all's biggest mischief? What was the biggest thing? Like you said, man, I gotta get away from this. Was it drinking? Was it crazy women? What was it?
Little of both.
Little. What was that story of Billy Wayne told you, Dad, about what was it? Wilbur or Leon said to him about his wife, talking about he done got older. Said he didn't want to have no. He said he didn't have. He said he ain't got so old. He said he don't even have sex no more. You remember? You told me that the other day. said Leon. You knew Leon, Dad. I think. Did you ever meet Leon and Billy Wayne Waddell and all
I
that?
know Billy Wayne.
All right, well, Billy Wayne. Billy Wayne was telling Dad the story. He didn't forget. He told me the other day. He said Billy Wayne said, "Yeah." Said Wilbur told me. He said, "Yeah, I done got older." He said, "I don't even hardly want sex no more." He said, "My wife and I, we had sex, you know." He said, "But I don't even be wanting it no more." He said, "I just want it every once in a while." He said, "Once in the morning and a while in the afternoon."
Yeah, once in a while. That's
Once in a while.
But now, you get out there in life, sex about like brie cream, a little dab will do you.
That's a yellow dab.
Little dab will do you. That's not the important part of your life no more. But when you in your 20s, 35,
Right.
burn, baby, burn.
Burn in. Well, I know.
Yeah. Yep.
But now, I would live 20 years old again. I live my life the same way again.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. A guy wanted to learn how to lay brick, but he say, "I don't want to do the slave part. I just want to lay brick." I say, "You got to crawl before you walk, baby."
That's exactly right.
So he wanting to be above the starting point.
Yeah. I said, "You can't do it. You got to stay out there long enough to watch and see how this stuff go."
Can't start at the top.
So you don't put no top on the house. You got to start at the bottom and go up, then put the top on
Right.
There you go.
Start with the foundation.
He want to be on the top. I say, you never make it.
That's right.
And then do not think about this as the money-wise. Do it because you want to do it. The money will come to you.
That's right. That's right.
Don't say, "Well, I can go out there and make $300 or $400 a day." But you got to learn what to do to make that money.
That's right.
right.
You know, in today's world, and I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but now you got this thing called AI, this artificial intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm even telling my kids, and I know Papa telling his grandyoungins, and they ain't nobody. I mean, I ain't saying in 50 years they ain't gonna have robots to lay bricks. They might, but they got a long time to come before they get to that level. I ain't saying they ain't gonna find some technology that can put up sheetrock or run a bull float, but right now, some of these soft jobs that these young people are looking for, they ain't even realizing it's about to be replaced with a computer or something that can think and has all the knowledge. But that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why people are running from just hard work and grabbing something with your hands and doing something, framing a house, putting sheetrock, siding on the house, laying brick like you still do here at 78. And it seemed like back now, it wasn't then. it's almost like it's a bigger honor to go and get you a business degree from a 4-year college where you spending $30,000 a year to get it. And half these kids are learning, but they paying to learn. Then they get out, they still don't want to lay brick.
Ain't no job for them.
They ain't no job. Their return on their investment in the student loan ain't paying off. Where y'all at 16 should have still been in school, but y'all out there learning the most valuable lesson. You learning a skill, you learn the craft, and you might be making mistakes, like you tell the story about having to buy a cat claw. But you learned something, and that paid for every pair of shoes I ever had, every oatmeal pie that you ever bought for mama. You learned that was your college, your hands, and having a mentor like you had, and like you had, Roland and J.E. and all them guys teach you how to frame a house, them guys up in Columbus. Some of these old potheads, that's what some of these old guys that was working for the habit, man, they were masters. I remember them Falk boys. I remember old Butterbean worked with Dad.
Yeah.
Low. I forget it. All I know is Butterbean. Is that how I ever called him?
His real name was Lonnie.
Lonnie. And man, remember, he looked
Lonnie
like
Low.
He looked like a tailback on Atlanta Falcons.
Because most of that.
Joker looked like he could goddamn fight UFC.
He wasn't scared to try nothing.
No.
Yeah. No, and all he was doing was working for his habit, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But man, always smiling and loving.
Yeah.
And man, I remember watching them run roofs. Some of them half drunk when they got to work at 8 o'clock and running on the top of a top plate, a 2x4 wall, and run up and down them things. And Mike Falk and Butterbean and of course old Scott Steiner, he'd be on the bottom. He'd be the cut man because I didn't see Scott up on them roofs too much.
Yeah, we had all of them, and Sammy remembers all them people he worked with. There's one story that I'd like to share that F&M Bank had a house over there. It's on Owens Road now, but it wasn't about 2 miles from where we live. So this story was kind of funny, but I know Sammy remembers it, and Scott Steiner still living, and also the other guy that worked with me, McCoy boy.
Tim McCoy. Timmy.
Yeah,
wasn't McCoy? Tim McCoy. Tim McCoy. Yeah.
The small guy. But anyway, so we was over there. It's cold. F&M Bank had this house, and so we had to go over and finish it. And Sammy was bricking it up around the underpinning, and we was building some decks. And I remember it was in the wintertime, and Sammy had a helper. I can't think which one it was, but he knew that my daddy, everybody made some shine liquor. And he was, and we was out there by a fire. He said, man, I know you got a drink. He said, you need to go get me a drink. He said, I sure could use one. He kept on, and I know Sam remembers this. I said, you know what? And my daddy, he made his last run of luck on a Thursday, and he died on Saturday. So me and my 3 siblings, we had like 3 or 4 gallons apiece that we kept. My sister, she had a boyfriend that drunk most hers up. My brother sold his, but I kept mine. Neither one of us drank because I guess we seen, my parents, my dad and all drinking. Everybody in the neighborhood, drank a lot at that time. So anyway, I had 4 gallons, 3 gallons, I think it wound up. So I put it in a clay jug.
So y'all found it back there where he was making his shine, right?
Falk boys was staying down there. But anyway, he made that last run. It was a copper steel, and there wasn't no money in it. It was just in my dad's, genetics and blood just to make some shine. But everybody remembers this shine liquor, and it was some of the best,
It would kick too, baby.
Oh, yeah. You read a newspaper through it, all copper, and I never learned the art of it, but it was, back then they didn't have all this equipment. Now you pull anything up on phone and show you who. This was old school. But anyway, so we over there working. This guy kept on. And I said, you know what? I'm tired of listening to him wanting to drink. So I went over there, did it in the wintertime, and I poured up a whole fifth. And I won't never forget it. I was dating a girl for years at that time, and Sammy, he was married. But anyway, so I got a whole fifth, and Sammy had 2 helpers. And I had 3 with me. So I said, all I would do with this whiskey that my daddy made, the last whiskey, I'd toast him. I said, all right, we're going to all toast it. Well, and get some little old cups. And we had some pickle juice. So I poured us all, they were sitting out by the fire, poured us all a good shot,
Chase it with the pickle juice?
With pickle juice. Mm-hmm. Anyway, and look, that guy said, man, that's good stuff. That McCoy boy, I won't never forget it. He said, that's the best shine liquor I ever had. He said, what you take for a gallon? I said, look, it ain't for sale. I said, we'll toast my daddy again. So I poured him another round. had another little shot. And I wasn't no big drinker, but I was just toasting Owen Waddell, my dad.
Yes, right. Paw Paw,
and it wasn't long, that little old McCoy boy's cheeks done got red. Them two good swallows. And then we had a little bit left in that fifth bottle, and Sammy's helper, he the one that begged for it. I said, him. I said, you want some liquor? I said, you drank the rest. Oh, no, I can't handle that. And sure enough, we left, and Sammy's helper, he done had enough of it. So, but I won't never forget this. So, Timmy McCoy, he said, man, I sure would like to have. We done drank that little old fifth, like I say. And I wasn't no drinker, so we went back by my house. I took that clay jug and I poured us up another shot at my house. And Tommy Arnold, my brother-in-law at the time,
Uncle
Tommy worked with me. Timmy McCoy,
Butterbean was there.
Yep, and then who else
was it? Scott Steiner? Was he out there?
No, it wasn't nobody but
Timmy, Sammy, and
Butterbean, and Tommy,
Uncle Tommy, yeah,
them three. So we went back by the house, and so I poured Timmy, poured us another round, and by this time it's quitting time, and we didn't have no cell phones. All the wives and all was trying to call me and find out where everybody was at. Well, just a bunch of men folks said Sammy done went on home, and Timmy McCoy was riding with Tommy. He had no Ford truck, and so we toasted another round. And look, Timmy, I won't never forget this. So I had a back door in my yard. I know Michael remembers it fell off fast, and I had no dog house out there, and I had made a dog pen. I put a piece of metal over it like a visor. So he went out there in the backyard. He was going to take a leak.
But it was a steep cliff, went off down to the creek.
In the backyard. So he went out there and he was trying to unzip his pants. I won't never forget it. And I went out there with him because he's pretty skin up. And he went to stumbling down through there. And I thought, I said, he's finna cut his throat on that piece of metal. So I had to hold him.
He was running.
Yeah, we got to staggering, going down that hill. And he said, y'all done messed me up. I said, what do you mean? And he said, y'all done got me drunk. I said, ain't nobody got you drunk. And I was having to hold him. He couldn't even, he couldn't go off that big old bank behind the house. And I won't never forget this. And I said, we all took drink for drink. I said, we were just toasting my dad. And you done got me drunk. I said, I see your problem. I said, what's that? I said, your hip pocket's too close together.
He too skinny.
Had a little narrow butt on him. He couldn't handle it.
He couldn't. He had enough of it to push him off that hill, though.
His hip pocket's too close together. But anyway, after they left, this was on the Thursday. I won't ever forget it. Look, he wanted to buy. I'll give you $50. Look, he went through Raleigh over at Salem Church over there at Raleigh. You turn left, go back by Pebblebrook. And Tommy said when he turned that curve, Tommy had to go on home. Tommy had a little buzz too, but Timmy, he said he fell over against the door, and then bam, said he just fell over against the door. So he got to work the next morning. I said, hey, Timmy, I said, you want to buy a gallon of that liquor? He said, no. He said,
he didn't want
to. I slept in the bathtub last night. He went home and slept in the bathtub.
But now, people have a bad habit, say, you messed me up. But now, you pour it up, you raise up and open up.
Yeah.
You mess yourself up.
Exactly.
That's right.
Didn't nobody make him drink?
No, you can't blame nobody. It gets back to that accountability, right?
That was the only time that I would drink any of that shine liquor. It was special occasion because it was the last run my dad made, and I wished I had some of it now. But you know what? I got the memories of that, and several people come by that. Even what's the old used to be the coach in Manchester. Robert Lee.
Yeah, Robert Lee, run the rec department over there.
Robert Lee.
Robert
Lee come up to me. He said, you didn't know I used to come to your dad's house, did you? I said, what are you talking about?
I love Robert Lee, man.
Robert Lee. He said, no, I used to come. Your dad made some of the best shine liquor I ever drank. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't know that. That was.
Well, I remember who was the city cop, Manchester. He always dressed, had the white gloves. Willie.
Yeah,
Holloway. I remember I told that story with Aunt Betty. I thought they was coming down there and busted Paw Paw. I thought Willie was down there busting him. I didn't know enough about jurisdiction because he was over, in Woodbury. But he had the police car down there, and remember Willie was dressed to the nines.
Oh yeah.
And I remember Willie was buying some whiskey down there from Paw Paw. This was heck. Well, he had to been when I was at least 11 because Paw Paw died when I was 12.
Yep.
But I remember I thought they were down there going to arrest Paw Paw. But Willie was buying some whiskey from him.
He wanted to get high.
He wanted to get high. He wanted to give him like corn whiskey, and he'd make that peach brandy too.
Holloway, he took me to death. We both met up at a whiskey house. I say, darn.
Now he the chief of police, right? Yeah, ain't he?
Yeah, I don't know if he's chief or not, but he was.
But he looked like the chief because he always looked like a captain. He looked like Captain Morgan.
And me and him sat there, we done drunk a half pint with Seagram gin together.
Oh man,
But
got
now
it the
he seen me
gin.
one night, I was showing out. He said, "Now, carry this car home. If I catch you out here again, I'm gonna lock you up now." He let me win. I was drunk as a skunk.
He let you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Golly, that was the time.
Yeah.
Remember Willie? Maybe he never was the chief of police, but he looked. Remember he every time I saw him, he had them white gloves like Michael Jack. I mean, white gloves. He was out there directing traffic. He had a gold tassel.
He had fun doing that stuff.
He had them gold rim glasses. I always had a chain on rings.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like MC Hammer out there, boy. Remember he out there in the street on a school day, talking about down there where you was raised, down there by the middle school.
Yeah.
When we would come from Booger Bottom, we would turn left right there past them little stores and turn left on, is that Perry Street, maybe?
Yes, Perry Street.
Turn left. And that's where Willie would be posted up. He'd turn people left going to high school, and then right past the high school, and then right up the road was the elementary. But you turn right. And Willie be out there, boy, and you have your blinker on, and he'd be like, boy, he'd be like the Karate Kid.
He wasn't burning fire. He wasn't burning fire.
Yeah, he was worse than burning fire. Be blowing that whistle. He'd blow the whistle out.
He looked like a robot. Yeah,
he did.
I mean,
He'd be doing dance moves out
He'd
there.
take that arm and say,
Oh, man. I remember that.
He get it.
He had it going. Yeah, I won't never forget. I wish we had a video of that because people wouldn't believe how he took that serious.
Yeah, he learned all that stuff in the military.
That's what Willie was, an old military guy, wasn't he?
You know, he retired from the military. He was a police at the foundation. He retired from the state, and then he retired from the police department. He had 3 retirements.
Mm-hmm.
Golly,
Sure did.
working fella.
And I always had Cadillac, wasn't it? I always had him a Cadillac.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cadillac.
I remember old Coach Nathan Jesse always drove that old Cadillac,
I
cream
believe
color
it was
Cadillac.
A Lincoln or something.
Might have been a Lincoln, but he always had a new car.
Yeah, he rode good now.
But look, he didn't have no education.
No,
he couldn't
just
read or write. Nope. I remember people talking about it. Didn't have no education, but he went in the military and then retired from 2 other retirements. Had 3 retirements.
everybody loved him though in our county in Manchester. I remember my mom would wave at him and he'd blow the whistle. Hey Willie, what's up, baby? And
But now to make it in life, to me, you have to have
guts.
Don't be scared to try nothing.
Yeah. Y'all knew right away though, where y'all was raised, life wasn't gonna be fair. You had to make it what it was.
Had to make it. Had to make it.
Golly, that what a great blessing to have that instilled in you. If you don't have that in your soul, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of that's being lost, like the hope and the faith in yourself, you know?
But my grandpa used to say, I used to be out there working in the garden. And I said, Papa, I can't do this. He said, son, don't you never let me hear you use that word can't. He said, ain't no such thing as can't and ain't.
Mm-hmm.
He said, don't use the word, because you can. And
Yeah,
you going to.
Mm-hmm.
He reach up there and get that plum switch, you going to do it.
Yeah.
Cut your own switch. Go get, or he get it, or you get it once.
He snatch it out from up there.
We're going to stop for a quick break, but please don't go anywhere. We got so much to come.
A wingman flies close with unwavering dedication. At Folds of Honor, a wingman stands with families of America's fallen or disabled heroes. The burial flag given to their grieving family is folded 13 times. As a wingman, your $13 monthly donation provides scholarships to their spouses and children. 13 folds, $13. Become a wingman. Join today at foldsofhonor.org. Spandau Arms was founded with a simple idea. The best part of hunting isn't the gear, it's the memories. From the first rooster rise of the season in the tall grass to the last second opportunity on the target buck as sunset closes in. Spandau believes firearms should be built to perform, priced to be accessible, and designed to become an essential piece of your hunting story. Their lineup includes field-ready shotguns and precision-driven rifles built for hunters, competitors, and recreational shooters who know that quality and dependability matter more than the hype. Born from the experience of American hunters and crafted by generations of gunmakers, each Spandau firearm is built for real-world performance in the moments that matter.
Poncho is now supporting the show, and they need your support as well. All you got to do if you want an amazing discount is go to ponchooutdoors.com/Waddell again to get an amazing discount. If you've never wore a Poncho shirt, you're missing out. From any color, any style, whether it's Western or if you just want a solid color, these shirts are amazing for no matter what task. If you just want to go on an evening stroll, a night out on the town, or if you want to go fishing or do something and some chores around the house or the ranch, Poncho is amazing. You got regular fit, you got slim fit, you got Western. They even have an amazing line of denim and flannels. But this time of year is starting to warm up. You're going to be amazed by these shirts. They don't wrinkle. The fabric stretches. They're easy to travel with. Simply just amazing. Be sure to go to ponchooutdoors.com/Waddell for a great discount. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. And thanks for the support, Poncho, and we appreciate you guys supporting them.
That's the thing right now that I see in most of society, kids and grandparents, and I said I've been in a few seminars or got up and spoke, but the fear, the kids don't have any fear no more. The ones that do the most for them, which is the parents, grandparents, they will talk back and raise their boss and argue with them more than anybody else. They get out in public, going to do it, but that's where the fear need to come. I ain't your friend. That's the way it all be. I ain't your friend. I'm your parents, and you going to do what I say do. And like you said, hey, there ain't no fear. Get that plumb books. Hey, a privet hedge.
And there's a difference, too. Like you was talking about, James. There's a difference in a spanking and a beating.
Exactly.
Yeah. It ain't beating your kids. It's the discipline. Like I said, I was raised up on a switch. Didn't get a lot of spankings, but when I did, I knew I deserved it, and I took it.
I had never got a whooping I didn't own.
You knew you needed it.
Oh, man, I did it.
Oh, yeah.
But I had got so many whoopings. If my brother never could do something, and then mama say, who did this? I tell I did.
You just take the whooping.
Because I got immune to him. It didn't even hurt no more. Mama say, you ain't gonna cry. My mother had them big arms, she hit you.
Get you.
And then she'll stop and talk to you. I found out when I got grown what she was doing. She stopped, she was resting.
She was resting. She was taking a break.
Yeah, and then she'll take some alcohol, don't put them whips on you. And she say, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't do that.
She would doctor you up after you done whooped
her. I said, Mama, if you hated me, you'll kill me. Almost done killed me then.
She love you and whoop you like that and then doctor you up. Right. And then put that alcohol be burning too.
He kept all us out of jail.
That's right.
Exactly right.
I don't think that's happening. I don't think a lot of that's happening these days. And like I said, it's unbelievable. So your mom and dad were pretty hard then. They wrote.
My dad didn't whoop me that regular, but now he had a good mind. Now I might get 6 whooping at one time. Because he said, you remember when your mama told you do this?
He save up.
He save up. He get me for old and new, he said.
Oh my goodness. No.
Old and new whooping. No. This one, you remember a couple of months ago?
Yeah.
You thought I forgot.
And then I used to love on the Saturday, we messed around and got a TV. And Sky King.
Yeah.
That fly that airplane. Mom be done said something to me, Daddy get off work at 12 on Saturday. That's when Sky King come on. And I'd be into that TV.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mama be done call me 2 or 3 times. And I don't move. And Daddy be done got home. He hit you across that back. He said, boy, didn't you hear your mama calling you?
You didn't even see him slip in there either, did you, Holly?
I didn't hear nothing.
You watching that TV.
But glad to have a TV.
Golly.
Oh, yeah.
What was the groceries like? Like, what was y'all's main meals? Like, when you was thinking about raised on a budget, hard-working parents, y'all eat a lot of wild game? like rabbits and turtles and
yeah. But now
squirrels.
We come up, it wasn't no such thing what you want to eat. Whatever in there cooked,
that's what you eat.
that's what you eat. And then if you didn't eat all of it up, Dad say, don't let your eyes get big in your stomach. Because he going to put it in the oven. Before you eat the next meal, you're going to eat that.
You're going to finish. You might have to eat it for breakfast.
You ain't going to waste it.
You ain't
going to waste it.
Yeah, and you ain't waiting that. And then we raised up all our stuff in the garden.
All your vegetables in the garden. You grew them.
Corn. We got to go in there and help my mom to cut that corn off, can that corn, bean, okra, tomatoes. We had it made, man.
Man, yeah.
What was a thing like a pantry right there in the house? We had all the beans on one row, tomatoes on a row.
Be in a mason jar.
Yeah,
Canned good, yeah.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, I still do a little of that, but not much. I know Mama Susie got into it, you know, and I remember years ago I planted butter beans, and look, she hated butter beans out there, her and Grandmama on them. Look, I went over there, and this is another story talking about folks getting away with stuff. Michael's, all his high school buddies, I had so many butter beans, I was going to pay them so much a bucket, $1 or $2 a bucket. So they went over there, and I just let them all get ripe. I got 2 or 3 of Michael's buddies and went over there picking them butter beans. Look, when I got to the house, I put a big old sheet out, had the air conditioner over there by the bay window. Actually, Sammy helped break that bay window up. And I poured all them butter beans out, and I got to empty them buckets. Look, some of them done pulled the whole vine up, and half of the bucket wasn't nothing but a vine. And they short-changed me. But look,
fill up the bucket quicker.
That was the last time my Mama Susie and Grandmama Arnold wanted any butter beans. I broke them up for that. We had butter beans everywhere.
But now, I know how to can. I go in there and get my little cooker, put all them jars in there, wash them, then put them in there and put that top on that thing. Yep. Go up in there and get all that grease out, because if you don't, it's going to spoil them beans. Yeah. And I make bazooki. I can make some good biscuit too. But
you can cook. I know Bill Joe's dad was bragging on your cooking the other day.
And I was thinking the other day about what can I say. I say, now, your mama was good in the kitchen now.
Yeah,
But now, what did him? They say a poor dog don't wag its own tail. She was the second best after me.
Second best after you. Golly, I do remember. I remember. Remember we'd knock off. Well, I only was working in the summers when I was out of school, but I remember sometimes if we'd be working close around the house, Mama would cook us a lunch.
Oh yeah,
and the whole crew and all them same characters. Your help, and we'd eat. And man, my mama loved you, boy. I remember.
And didn't want to go back to work because we were too full.
Oh man, we made biscuits, and she'd make pork chops and gravy, and
yep.
Man,
I remember the day, you know, and it was tough. You know, I had 3 guys working, you know, and Sam and them be close by, you know, and I'd have my help. And Mama Sue, we had them Foster children then. Well, she'd cook enough for lunch. She'd get in that morning, and you talking about cooking a meal. She'd cook a big old spread, and we'd all drop by there. Come on, I got lunch for all y'all. You know, I finally had to look. Now, you're going to have to quit this. I said, she said, what are you talking about? She said, don't you enjoy it? I said, yeah, but I said, you breaking us buying all this food, cooking for everybody. And I said, then when I get back to work, my help ain't worth a damn no more. I said, you gonna fill them up? I said, I can't get nothing out of them. They too full. Yeah, they would. You eat a big meal like that, make you lazy.
Yeah.
I remember Uncle Boy used to work with us. He'd do all the concrete work. Remember Uncle Boy, my dad's uncle. Yeah. I remember him used to do that, and he. Man, they was work. Well, they would work, and they, you know what? They would always they at lunchtime. Uncle Boy he'd be getting a little of that shine whiskey at lunch.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, I remember Uncle Boy. We'd all get ready to go to lunch. We'd be working somewhere, pouring car. I'll be good right here. I'm right here, nephew. I'll be good. Look, he'll break out some soda crackers and some Vienna sausage, potted meat. But he gonna break out that little bottle too.
You remember that time? I remember this, and I remember it was over there right before we got to our house. We was leaving a job site or something and coming back in the summertime, and Uncle Boy was in front of us, and he had 3 people sitting across that bench seat in that old Chevy Silverado, and you saw him passing that bottle. Yeah. And you bumped them.
Yeah. Yeah, I pulled up on it. Uncle Boy, he was in an old truck. He was working with Metal Motors, I think, but they were so involved passing that bottle. There was a couple of them in there, 3. you know, he didn't even see me. He just kind of sitting in the road, easing along. And I had that old truck, you know, back then it beat up. Had the old brown 3/4 ton Chevrolet. And look, I just eased up and hit him, bumped his bumper. And look, I know he about peed in his pants. Yeah, they had that bottle up, chunk, chunk, chunk. And look, when back in the end, them folks that drank, they didn't take a swallow.
No, they drank.
Clunk, 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 clunk. Now, they wouldn't take it. Sammy can tell you, but they turned it up and drank some.
But now it took me to death. We just buried my cousin last Thursday. He was 94. And he liked to drink liquor. And so one night I come from town just before I got to my house. He was in front of me, had a little old Ranger white truck. And I took my light blinking off and on like that. He pulled aside the road. he thought I was a man. I said, I pulled upside, man, bring your drunk ass on.
He thought the cops and got him.
He cussed me out the next morning, boy. He
scared him to death, huh?
I scared him. He say, he was light-skinned, and when he drank that liquor, his skin changed color.
No way. He
just turned red. He drunk. And,
the good stuff.
He say, Chuck Bell that caused me not to have no license now. He was going back into Warm Spring and to get him another drink that Sunday morning. And Chuck Bell just whooped around and got it. And got his license from him. And he said, Chuck Bell that caused me not to have no license today. I said, no, you that caused you not to have no license today.
You the one, yeah.
Cause if you hadn't been in that road, he couldn't get you no ticket sitting in the yard drink.
You can get in the yard and drink.
No, stay at home.
And then, what did Charles Neely?
Charles Neely.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I remember Charles.
And he say, I can get TL his license back today. But TL say, ain't no need to give him back. Because I ain't going to stop drinking. Because he say they going to take him right back again. So he didn't ever go get him.
You know, it's funny thinking about that, and y'all both run your own crew. How many of y'all's crew did y'all have to go pick up in the morning? A majority of all of them.
Yeah.
Just about it, yeah.
I remember that too. And that is what was always amazing too, because I would see the shenanigans. I would see, maybe a lunch break. And I remember this too. A lunch break was 30 minutes. Yeah. I mean, you get 30 minutes, whether you go on to Tant's Cafe or Duck's Trolley or wherever you're going to go get you something to eat. And that's why I feel like a lot of people, you lived on lunch, what was under your seat. It was all that. Yeah. But if
I was close enough to a restaurant, I would go.
Right.
But if I got to drive 7 miles to a restaurant, catch some potted meat.
Under the seat.
Under the seat.
Soda crackers, some hot sauce, maybe some hoop cheese, some crackers or something. You know.
That's another thing now, accountability. There's nobody accountability. Ain't no accountability. I mean, we took it for granted. 30, 35 minutes, we better be rolling, getting back at the job. Now, look, folks sat there an hour and a half and talk, have drinks. And
8 o'clock, you was working too. You got that job site. I remember most seemed like about 8 o'clock was the whistle blew to go, sometimes earlier. But that was another thing that amazed me. Some of them old guys, them old characters, they'd be drinking, but you go pick them up 6:37. They might be staggering out, but they
ready to go.
They're ready to go.
But now, you tell them, I say, now, I got to pick 3 guys up. And then, but when they come to the door and do like this right here, wait a minute.
Gone.
I'm gone. I got up, ate breakfast, fixed me a lunch, and go pick up everybody. You talking about something.
Just leave them.
Yeah.
I remember you left Paps. I remember Paps. Paps was a what was Paps' real name? I didn't even know his last. Jeffrey
Johnson. But he tickled me to death.
Paps left Daddy on. He left him at the house many times.
I went on the barn. What his name? Billy Isaac then with the chief. And he didn't want to go to work. So he across the mile, he hitched. I say, Pap, old man Billy. I said, I stopped at the police station. I said, I want to go off at barn. He say, you got to bring him back in here, because that's where you got him from. And I say, Forney Rowan, knock him out.
Just knock him out.
But I say, Pap, old man Billy want to see you a minute. And Pap got up and walked in there in the jailhouse. He said, he just went off your board. He said, I'll go to work. I said, no, you can't go now. I left
Can't go.
I'm going to have to pay that money.
That's right.
But now you, I think it was $105. Man, I'm trying to work on my house. I ain't got the time to get away no $105.
No, not get somebody out of jail.
You took him back to jail.
I took him back to jail. Then he the last somebody I went on bond. I said, I can't do this.
Remember old Paps? I thought he was Rick James forever. You know, he looked.
But
Remember,
now he
always,
the cleanest drunk.
no, he was a dress. Remember, he had the chains on.
Oh,
he
yeah,
would look
bling,
like
bling.
he would look like he was working the city council.
Yeah.
He looked like Rick James. Remember, he had that. Was it Jerry curl? He'd be
Yeah.
curled up hair, chain, be dressed good.
Put his clothes in the clean. He the neatest drunk you ever seen.
Dave, remember that story? It was Paps, and I remember another story from my youth. Remember, we had done rented that big old saws, that big timber cutting saw, big old skill saw.
Yeah.
And you rented it from Taylor Foster, and you dropped Paps off, and I think you was taking me to summer football practice. You said, Paps, take this saw back to Taylor Foster and return the rental before they close. He said, we going to practice. And we took off, and you took me to something. We were running late. We hauled butt. I think it was something summer football practice. So the next morning you go to Pap's house, he ain't there. And you're like, and so you left it. You're like, you know, he ain't at work. And we rolled down, and right there, remember that pawn store right by F&M Bank? Mm-hmm. Paps is sitting out there. Remember, he had that saw. He was waiting for the pawn shop to open. He was about to pawn that saw that Dad.
Yeah.
And my dad, and I thought, man, Dad about to kill him. And I didn't forget, but you pulled up. Remember, he saw you, boy, like he saw a ghost.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah. He was always up to something. Like you said, good as gold. He'd go pick him up. He'd do anything. He was just more of a laborer than anything.
He would
just,
work, yeah.
Like you said, he's the fetch man. You fetch this, fetch. But, yeah, he worked with me a good bit. But one store up there was doing that Albert Jordan and Coon building up there. Sammy laid the brick on that right there in Manchester on 2nd Street.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, we was out there. It might have been on Saturday, but we was out there cleaning up. And we was out there getting all the construction crap up and hauling it off. And he come running in there and hollering. And he said, why did you make me do that? I said, what are you talking about? He said, you done put me in a fire ant bed. I said, how did I put you in a fire ant bed and I'm in him? So he done went out there and got in some fire ants, and he come in there. I won't never forget. He stripped down to his jaw. He was whooping fire. he blamed it on me. He said, you knew them fire ants was out there. I won't never forget it. I said, I ain't put you in nothing.
Hell, he walked in them.
Yeah, he got in them. Well, they got but he blamed on me. I won't never forget that.
Well, look at too. How many talking about? You know, now everybody get a job and talking about benefits, health insurance. They wasn't none of that when y'all was coming up. You got hurt. You were hurt.
Yeah.
I mean,
but now I was working over in Griffin, and we were breaking up some real tall house. I had the working comp just in case, but
right.
Then nobody never did get hurt though.
Right.
But I had to pay that working comp out my money.
In case somebody got hurt. Yeah. I remember talking about old Timmy McCoy. I remember it was either down there at the Bonner's house or Barry Fowler. I can't remember, but it was somewhere over off down there behind the city field. And remember old Timmy was toting some shingles up. Remember he fell off the roof? And I said, man, he's dead. And I remember we took him up to the doctor, and he missed like a day of work. Then he was right back. I don't know what he did, but he probably been one of us, but he was skinny. He was narrow in the pockets, like you said. But, man. Well,
yeah, them's the good old days. Like I said, you really can't do this in a couple of hours. We can talk, but I'm telling you, story after story.
But now we worked hard, but we had fun.
Exactly.
We laughed all day.
Oh, yeah, cut up.
And then we've been knowing each other for 15 years. And we never fell out about nothing.
No, never had a crossword.
Nope.
And we talking about racial stuff, back.
Yeah.
We didn't think nothing about that. All of Michael's buddies come out, we had a trampoline, they'd ride bikes in Manchester. And back in the Mike Lee ball team, look, like you said, and it come down to the parents. But most of the time, and Sammy can tell you, we had to go around that old white truck, it's black now, I'd have to go pick up every half of the ball team because there wasn't nobody getting them to school. They had to walk, or either I picked them up. And, they wasn't going to walk no half a mile across town, so I'd pick them up, take them. But accountability to the parents, it's just sorry raising.
But now when I turned 16 and come to town, Because I was Terry Kimmer, Marlon, and what his name? Whatever the other youngest brother name, Nathan. All of them grow. They stayed on one side of the road, we stayed on the other side of the road. And they mama could cook all that dessert stuff. They eat over, I eat over their house, they come over my mom and dad's house and eat. We played together. When I went to town, about 16 and a half years old, it used to be a place that called Trolley Car.
Yeah.
And,
was that up there by the...
Farm Butcher Bank at?
Yeah, up on the hill, kind of by where it was
you know
Giant
what
Mart.
you cut through?
Yeah.
About Farm Butcher Bank, it used to be a little school bus thing there.
Yeah.
On top of the hill up there, kind of.
Yeah. And I didn't know nothing about no racial, black people going this door, white people going that door.
Yeah.
I said, hell, I've been going to white folk doors all my life.
Yeah, so they still had one.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just the way it was.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I didn't see no sense in it.
No, there wasn't no sense in it. Yeah.
Now, down there where Tants used to be at.
Yeah. I know.
Was that in the hole at first, or you talking about...
Yeah, right there
By the city pond. Fox. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Used to be a little Jew joint there.
Uh-huh.
And well, we had to go in the backside.
On the corner.
Yeah. But now we had so much fun back there, the white people come out from the front back there with us.
Oh, yeah.
They want to come hang out and have more fun.
Yeah.
It was just
I remember that.
Cause we were back there dancing and jamming, baby.
having a good time.
Yeah, drinking them Coke 45.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now, what I was getting at a while ago, and when I went to work in Columbus, I worked with Bob Carter, and I went on a construction crew. And anyway, a guy named Albert Hines, and he was retired. I think he was retired from military, but he was a crew leader, and I worked on his crew. And that black guy taught me how to cut step treads, and we worked side to side out there in the sun on them concrete slabs. He taught me how to cut rafters. He taught me more things I know about carpenting than any other person other than me just learning, as I went. But that black guy named Albert Hines, I know he's probably dead and gone, but I give him credit. He took his time and worked with me, and it wasn't but a few years I worked with him. He moved up to job superintendent, and then I took a crew leader. I was a crew leader. I didn't have an education. He had taught me how to read blueprints, how to scale and do all this stuff that I never would have. He took the time up and showed me this stuff. Well, he moved up to job superintendent, and I went to a crew leader. Didn't have no education. I couldn't read and write. And I'd have a roll of plans this big around, and I wasn't about 18 or 19, and I could go down through there laying them apartments out and come back and help framing. And all these older guys out there, they were mad at me, because I knew more than they did.
But Albert done taught y'all this.
Yeah, well, he taught me. He learned me. So he moved up his position, and I moved up in mine. So I had 3 guys working under me. I was a crew leader. And look, I didn't know how to read and write. He taught me all about them plans, and black guy. So what I'm saying, there wasn't, I had a black guy that worked on my crew. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Do you remember Tom Rush? You stay out there by Playtech and Dury Neely.
Dury Neely, I know the name.
We been in the schoolhouse in 1972 up there in Fayetteville. Me and Arthur Dempsey were riding up there together. And so I stayed up there about a month working. And then the superintendent got me to start going in the bathroom, laying out all the walls. And then I get all the cuts ready for the other bricklayers to come in. And they got so mad with me, say, how come the devil he got you to do this? We were him before you were as the superintendent.
That's right.
That's right.
And then old Roland Duke told me one day, he said, Bill Joe, he said, now, you a good bricklayer, but he said, I'm going to give you some advice. Do your work for yourself. Mm-hmm. And I started buying me a little scalpel, mixer.
Right.
And it probably took me another year and a half to get my stuff built up.
That's right. Get your tools.
To go out on your own.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they say, he ain't going to do nothing with that stuff. I don't know why he buying it.
That's right.
But now, one something about it, what God got for you, can't nobody take it.
That's exactly right. He got a plan bigger than ours.
Everybody born with a talent.
Yep.
You got to use it.
You got to use it.
Ain't no talking about, I don't want to do this. Well, you ain't going to make it over there doing that.
Yeah, comfortable don't get it all the time. You got to put yourself in uncomfortable. I'm sure that was uncomfortable for you being a young black man, going completely out on your own and having to buy mixers, having to bid your jobs, having to figure out how am I going to come out ahead. And that had to feel uncomfortable, but thank God you did it. Like I said, that was God's plan.
I told my wife, I went to Griffin, and I said, well, this is all I want for doing this job. But he going to try to juke me down. Mm-hmm. I said, got to do this job like a car dealer. Do you?
That's right.
Raise it up. When you negotiate with him about the job, if you go down $200, you still making $200 more than you want it.
Yeah.
That's where a car dealer screw us.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They always seem to come in. Let me go in the back. Remember that in car dealership, they go in the back. Let me go talk to my boss.
Yeah.
They wasn't talking to nobody. They go back in and take a sip of...
At you.
Yeah, they come back like I can knock another $1,000 off of $400, you know.
Yeah. Then me and my wife talked to a man one evening. I think it was J.D. Kendall Furniture Store. Right there where Chick-fil-A is in Columbus now. Mm-hmm. We talked to the man about a coffee table. It's a man table. They was on sale. We drove, stopped eating, and went to Columbus to get the table. We got down there. They say they don't went off sale. What? I just talked to you 45 minutes ago, man. Well, we go back here, like you say, go back here and talk to the boss.
Uh-huh.
He said, well, we can't let you have for that. I said, well, I'll see you.
That's right.
I just got through talking to you.
Man, that make you mad.
Uh-huh. And then he going to try to go back down to where he said. What he told me at first on the phone. I said, no, you keep him.
Good for you.
Yeah, I said, you like him just that way. You keep him. I went somewhere else about me to function.
I don't blame you.
There you go.
I love that.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
love
You
that.
gotta stand up for yourself. That's all it is.
Well, you know something too. You talking about all these years. Y'all both, basically left home at 16, went to work, started your own business, had your own crews. You being a bricklayer, Paw Paw being a carpenter, contractor, framing houses. Again, it certainly ain't about me, but one of the landscapes I remember when I was a kid getting a chance to work and learn to get the gab, sitting around the shade trees and laughing, watching y'all, the stories. But back then, me as a 12-year-old kid working with y'all, I remember on the crew. Now, again, it's not even about race, but I remember if you looked, it was all what I would consider hard-working black men and these redneck, sometimes pothead. They was alcoholics. There was some people that was, they would be some highbrow people. They once in a while would want to learn a craft. I remember you had a few people working on the crew. They just want to learn how to frame a house. Right. They might make more money doing another profession that they were skilled in, but they knew to be a man, I want to learn how to do this. Or maybe it was finishing concrete, laying a brick. But now you go to them same job site, and I built the house back in 2020. I bet you I didn't see, the only black and white people I saw was either the people that led the crew, it was all Mexican labor. What happened to that 60s and 70s where kids like y'all that left your home wasn't afraid to go cut grass, lay bricks? You don't see that no more. You can't find that same symmetry in that same culture that we had. Mm-hmm. It was all black and white people working together, laughing, telling jokes, whether it was drinking whiskey, eating a pot of meat, and buying a sausage. It's none. How many 12, 13, 15-year-old black men do you know that's working on a construction crew? How many of the people that grow up in Booger Bottom over there that's still trying to get a bag of crystal meth or whatever you buy it in? Where do you see them out there working? I know they exist, but you talk about all this illegal immigration and all this stuff, and it seems like we losing something.
We done lost it.
I think you might be right.
We done lost it.
It's scary. Who's going to replace y'all? Y'all still working. You still work, Paw Paw. Bill, like I said, you couldn't come here today because you still laying brick. But who is behind y'all? That's what scares me.
Nobody, baby.
It's scary. It's really scary.
Do you have any nephews that's laying brick?
Oh, no.
We got some blue collar people around our house that still do stuff. My kids, they'll work, but they ain't wanting to build a house. They ain't wanting to run a frame and crew, pull wire and electric and plumbing and stuff. And I'm afraid. I remember that was the biggest takeaway. I finally had a chance to build a home more than what I feel like the good Lord should have gave me an opportunity to do. But that was the one takeaway. Even my dad, we would sit up there and have a cup of coffee, and I'm sitting there, I said, Dad, find me a white man out here working. Find me a black man working. I said, this was Butterbean. This was Bill Joe. And I don't even know there was anybody speaking English.
But the reason I couldn't be in your fireplace, I had a heart attack.
I wanted you. Yeah, that's right. You didn't have a heart attack.
I couldn't pick up nothing like that.
No, that's right.
That's
now,
exactly.
You know what? Looking back, there was
There
was a white guy built the fireplace. Because I remember thinking.
Yeah, him and his son.
I told my dad early on, because this contractor I use, Dad wasn't my contractor, because I said, Dad, I don't need you to be my contractor. You be my daddy. You be my daddy on this job, because I'm going to spend more money than I probably need to spend. So I don't want me and you had to get crossways on contracting. Of course, Dad, he's in the 70s at the time, and I'm like, but my dad would be there. We'd watch it, and but I remember I told Dad early on, I said, man, I want a fireplace in here look like Cracker Barrel. I want a Cracker Barrel fireplace.
Oh, yeah.
And so I said, you think Bill Joe? And I remember we reached out, and he said, man, you had just had a heart attack.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that was the only thing holding him back. But ain't no doubt. I remember I like my fireplace, but I'm thinking it ain't what Bill Joe.
He did a good job.
He did a good job. But he probably ain't still what Bill Joe would have did.
The reason his name come up, because he done built a lot of fireplaces for me.
Just
through
like
the years.
that.
A lot of fireplaces.
All them masonry fireplaces. Now everybody just throw them inserts in there.
But now, like you take the Cracker Barrel over in Butler, I built one you could put a love seat in it.
Just a love seat in the fireplace.
A love seat in the fireplace, baby.
Yeah.
God dog.
And it was at a Georgia chicken place on Sunday. Man made a chicken place over there. And but now, I love to do it, but I don't have no help, and I don't like to get no high and disc off the ground now.
Right.
Because I get off balance.
Get on them scaffolds. You ain't gonna be.
No.
Yeah.
And I had did some work on my house. My grandson said, Granddad, you don't need to go back up on the scaffold now.
Yeah.
And I got somebody to help me take them down. And I'm waiting on the guy that finished doing the replacement of what they call the buoy mouth on the corner. Mm-hmm. And fix that and finish painting the rest of it, because my house real high on the back. And I'm just not going up there, baby.
I don't blame you. But how do we fix that problem? I mean, for Paw Paw and Bill, how do we fix the problem of these people on a blue collar trade? Just throw age out. I ain't picking on the youth. I'm saying, how is a problem? You hear all these politicians talking about this and that, whether you a Democrat, Republican. But what I'm seeing is people are losing the same accountability that y'all had. That fear, as you talk about, Paw Paw, of even me. I had a great raising, and I lived with Dad after Mom, Dad. Me and him become more like brothers. We making ends meet. When I was 16, Paw Paw was still trying to run a business, didn't have no insurance. I mean, I remember fish fries helping us pay medical bills for Mama, and Dad out there doubling down working, and people like you out there on job sites. But at the end of the day, there was always this accountability and this work ethic. And whether you was Democrat or Republican, I feel like where I was raised, I didn't even know anybody's politics. I either knew men and women that worked or those that didn't. The assets of America, they was all kind of shapes and colors. Some of them, smoked a lot of weed. Some of them got drunk, drank a lot of corn whiskey. I didn't know if they voted Democrat. I didn't know if they voted Republican. But I looked at Sorry as the man who sat in a couch all day and did nothing. And that, to me, was the only classes I looked at. You was either an asset to your family and your country, or you was a deficit. And now it's gotten so convoluted, and they done stripped accountability out. So what message would you give to the youth or any man or woman listening to this, no matter how they voted, whether they hate Trump, love him, whether they voted Democrat, whether they this, there, or that way, whether they for illegal immigration or against it? How do we fix and to get people in the mindset of where y'all come from?
It won't happen no more, baby.
Yeah. It don't feel like it's a little bit past, ain't it?
It gone.
It's tough, and
But now,
I still go back to the household, and it's accountability of parents is a lot of it. A lot of it's the parents not making a mind. I mean, even when you work, that's one thing that I still believe in, and I know Sammy's going to agree with me. Work ethics, to me, ought to be before education. If you know how to work, well, guess what? I tell people all the time, if you got to be there 8 hours, if you get a job sampling donuts, Think about it. Sampling donuts. If you got to sample them for 8 hours, well, you working. But nobody ain't gonna stay 8 hours sampling donuts. But that's the accountability. There's no accountability. I blame some of it on the parents and the raising. Everybody's so soft now. Don't spank your child. No, if you love your child, you need to spank them, because that's what you do as a parent, doing the right thing. Make them respect you, and guess what? They got to respect you first. If they don't respect you, what are they going to do in the public? You see it all the time. Look at New York this morning. They rioted. Guess what? None of them probably had a butt whipped. And then the other accountability is our government. Our government is run this country by giving everybody a handout.
I agree with that.
Nothing comes free. Nothing's free. But then guess what? Everybody wants the kids to have a trophy, whether they win or not. Everybody wants to have a new car. They can't afford it. Guess what? They go to work. But by the parent, the kids got a better car than what they drive, because they want to keep up with the Joneses. It ain't about what you can give them. It's about the raising that you get, and the rest of it is the country. I swear it's the country.
My daughter graduated in '85. So I come back home one day, around 10:30 that morning. I say, she just getting up. I say, how come you ain't gonna look for a job? She said, I went last week, Granddad. Mr. Dad. I say, hold it. This is another week. Put some clothes on, baby, go find me a job. Don't find you now. If you stay here, you find me one.
That's right.
And she went to work.
She went to work.
I say, you cannot find a job laying down. I said, let's get up, baby.
That's right. Put you in a good solid week, whether it's 40 hours, 60 hours. You didn't even think about the hours. You never thought about the hours you worked on a job. You just knew you had to get the job done.
Yeah, just get it done.
That's right.
Let's go to work. And then she been working ever since too. I said, go get me a job.
Yeah.
Don't get you now.
Well, I think what y'all saying is, and this is my opinion. Again, opinions, everybody got one. Like you're talking about the parents, I think, like you're right, Dad, a lot of the parenting. But what's happened is the government has become people's parents. Exactly. The government, the school systems, and these handouts. So it supersedes to where I feel like they're ruining so much of America, because what you do teach a kid in your home, you can take, whether it's Bill Joe raising his kids or us and Booger Bottom raising our kids. Well, guess what you do? If you feel like you're done working hard, what do you want to do? Give them a good education. So you send them to a higher education. Now you're spending $20,000 to $40,000 a year, and everything you did in parenting raised them right. Well, you got a liberal college just ripping that all away from them, and everything that you tried to show them accountability, they coming home back to your table and talking about some of this stuff, and you're like, what are you talking about? You paying for your raising to go against you when you send them off to some of these places, and they changing history. They talking about, well, you deserve this. If you hurting and you depressed, go over here to this room and cry it out. Like I said, you went to the field, still with a shovel in your hand. Yeah, still with a trowel in your hand. Wondering, praying to God, looking up, like, how am I going to make ends meet? But like you said, he always delivered.
He do it every time.
Every time.
Do it every time.
You go to school now, the kid come with some switch marks on them, guess what you're going to do? They're going to come to your house and try to lock you up because you did what you
They ain't going to try to lock you up.
Yeah,
they are. Lock you up.
Yeah,
well, you see now, you talking about raising, you see where some of these states and places to where if your kid goes to school and says he wants to change his sex, then they supersede you. In other words, you can say, no, we ain't doing none of that. He was Batman last year dressed in a Halloween costume. He might think
the girl today.
Yeah, he might think he wants to be Beyonce, but no, his name is Javadran. He ain't Beyonce. Yeah. Now you go to jail for leaving them, and they have authority in some states, not everywhere, but in some situations. So what I'm saying is, you're right. It's a massive breakdown, it seems. And the key word that, if you think about this whole conversation, accountability. And learning that life ain't fair. You look at y'all's childhoods, they was a bunch of good, but they was a bunch of bad. Sometimes the bad turned into what taught you the lesson to how to make something good. And I'm sure some of them tough times that your mom and dad put on you, or your parents, or even James Gill, there's a certain part you can thank them for the hard times, because that's what made you a man.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's exactly right. And like you said, it starts at the parenting, but at the end of the day, the government is controlling what we do as parents. We cannot control and
going
parent
against
our
us.
children. They're going against what you're doing. So there again, more of it comes with the government. Exactly.
And
right.
I think that's where so much of this thing, whether it's racism, whether it's Democrat, Republican, they taking that to divide, which I felt like, I mean, you think about, like Bill Joe was talking about in the 60s and even worse in the 50s, to where, you know, the black folks come in this door, white folks come in this door. But I can ask the question, do you think a white man held you down? Do you think because you was black that you was ever completely held down from making a living from your family?
Some of them tried, but if you want to go, you can go.
Do it.
That's what I'm saying.
Go.
That's the men that raised me.
Exactly.
It never was about, yeah, they were some tough, wrong, to me, wasn't moral in the way some people were treated. Some was treated bad, they were white. Some was treated bad, they were Chinese. Some was treated bad, they was abandoned. They was rules and doors you had to go into, or parts you had to bust, you had to ride because you was black or white, or you was a black man. But men like Bill Joe showed me that, hey man, this is life. I don't think it's right, but if it's the law, then guess what we gonna do? But you ain't gonna stop me from making a living and loving and laughing and raising my kids. And now people get hung up on the situation that they think it sucks on. They all about the negative. And I still think that it starts with the basic word, accountability, quit feeling sorry for yourself. And I ain't never heard y'all pout and whine and poor me. I ain't never, ever heard that. I didn't hear it from Butterbean. I really didn't hear it that much from a Paps. I spent many times eating soda crackers and potted meat with Paps. Never heard poor me.
In 95, I bought that same truck out there. I've been had it 30 years. A guy at the Huddle House told me one morning, I pulled up there, he was pretty too. He said, how can you afford to ride in a truck like that? I say, I go to work like I'm finna eat some breakfast and go now. And then he say, I'm gonna need to learn how to lay bricks. If you can ride in a truck like that, I say, up some tech in Thomaston, they'll show you how to lay them.
That's
and
right.
then go out to the Chevrolet place, they'll sell you one, baby.
Exactly.
And I meant that from my heart.
Because that's the truth.
Because they wasn't giving me that truck.
No, nobody gave it to you.
And then another guy, when I bought that in 2000, that was 2007 Avalanche I have, but I bought it in 2006, October the 5th. And guy say, how can you afford to ride in a truck like that? I said, man, I work every day. I work at the funeral home. I cut grass. I lay brick. I move furniture for somebody if they need moving. All I wanted the dollar.
That's right.
And I get up striving, and I get up dragging now, but I still go at that dollar.
Because you got to go. You know what you want.
Yeah, I know what I need.
You know what you need, and
Yeah, I got to go get it. Because ain't nobody bringing you nothing now.
No, that's right.
And black or white, the more you try to thrive to have, the more some of your own people try to stop you from having it.
That's a problem. I see that in Booger Bottom. I see that in the black and white community of how we was raised in these country small towns. If Bill Joe getting ahead, then whether they want to call him a name or they jealous or envious, you know, it seemed like the black man who thrived, now he's an Uncle Tom. I think the word is he this and he's that. Or you get out of your situation where you making a little bit better and build a bigger house. Well, now they mad at you. They jealous. And it's hard to break away from them cycles. I think I heard Snoop Dogg talk about once he started making all that money rapping and doing this stuff, he said he had to isolate a bunch of his homies because they were mad. They were still trying to drag him back down where he came from and cause a lot of division. And that's something that ain't talked about. You see that a lot.
Yeah.
In our blue collar raising. That ain't a white problem, ain't a black problem. That's our culture problem that I see a lot.
And
I've caught it. I've caught it in what I get to do. You know?
That's a natural born fact too.
Yeah.
People can't stand to see you do good.
I agree.
And then you ain't sold no dope, ain't robbed nobody. You work for your money.
They like to hear about your train wreck, though, don't they?
Yeah.
They like to hear about you. Oh, you know,
Negative.
Bill Joe, he over there and got drinking, and man, he this or that, or Edwin, you know, he bought that new truck, can't afford it. Well, they love that, and we love you, Edwin. We praying for you.
Yeah.
They thrive on the negative. I was going to tell you this, and you know, back in Mama Susie, anyway, I wound up refinancing my house and bought a new Ford F-1 350 out at Meadows Motors from Chet McInville. And you know, the word got back to me. I was selling dope.
Selling weed. You selling dope.
Yeah, I couldn't afford. How did I buy that truck?
They have said the same thing about me.
Oh yeah,
Selling drugs.
exactly.
I couldn't sell none because I was using it all.
You'd been the worst drug dealer, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
No, but that they did. They said that word got back to me. You know, and that was. I had some kin folks over there that selling them. You know, Edwin must be selling drugs. He got a brand new truck, and back then, like get back to the store, only 2 new trucks I ever bought. 1972, $2,495. This Ford then is the F-350 Duramax. Anyway, 4-door, 4-wheel drive. $32,000. Now that same truck is over 100.
It's over 100, yeah.
And that was in 99.
In 71, I bought my wife a Lemoyne Pony out the Meadows, and brand new with, I think, 6 or 7 miles on it.
Yeah.
For $3,600.
Yeah.
And you can't pay $3,600 down on no kind of car now.
Oh, no.
I was over there in the grain. They had a recall on something, but my wife, what did that play? All Pro, I think that was the name of the play. Went over there, and now while they were fixing something on the car, I went out there walking around looking at the truck. $55,000. I hurried up and went back in the lobby, sat down. I said, woo, woo.
God,
And I paid $18,000 for that truck out there, and it's still running.
Still going.
30 years old.
Keep the oil change and rock and roll.
Don't pet it.
Just go.
Go.
Work.
I tell you what, man, we definitely could talk here forever, but before we do close this out, y'all got a lot of wisdom. Y'all, yeah, I talk about y'all's calloused hands, you know, and all that relayed to me when I now get a chance to do what I get to do. I always tell people why I got to be pretty good at turkey hunting and chasing a deer is because I knew I couldn't hang with you laying brick, and I knew I couldn't hang with this man running them walls and cutting and framing a house. Now, I learned a lot.
But that's your talent.
Well, yeah, I loved it. I loved it. That was kind of like you was talking about you looking at, you know, Mr. Edison, I think you said, you know, relaying them brick. And you're like, I'm going to do that one day. I remember Dad got me into hunting Uncle Morgan, but I remember thinking, you know, I even tell our guys that work for us, sometimes we'll be out there on the job. I feel even kind of strange saying it, but we out there chasing a turkey in West Virginia. Me and Cornerstone, our producer, we was in West Virginia a couple weeks ago. And when I tell you them mountains are steep, and I caught myself for a moment, he and I both like whining, like we ain't heard no turkeys. And like, man, I got to get a turkey. We got to make a show. And I remember, man, every time I think about you mixing that mortar, I think about Dad picking up paps and getting everybody to work and, you know, ending the job and somebody owe you this and they don't want to pay you up all, you know, you're supposed to be a 10%. They supposed to pay you at the end and they always get to shenak. And I'm thinking, man, I ain't going to whine. My job's out here to find a turkey. I'm still doing something people pay to do. But it's easy not to whine because of what I grew up seeing y'all do and what y'all had me doing when I was a kid. And so I'm so thankful for that. But being that y'all are both in your 70s, done worked all your life, still working, and I promise you, y'all going to work up until the day. I ain't worried about finding y'all on a couch. No, it's probably going to be like Bill Joe had just said on the podcast, he ain't going to get up on one of them scaffolds. Well, damn if he still did. He fell off a scaffold. Or Paw Paw going to be, you know, Paw Paw will come to the farm. He'll get to working sometimes. And like, wait, Dad, don't be, he telling me stories about stuff he's hooking up. I'm like, Dad, you don't need to do that by yourself. But yeah, it's probably going to be on a tractor. It's probably going to be out there cutting out and building some, you know, a cabin or building a deck or something. But what could y'all tell somebody, youth, grown men and women, what's some lessons y'all could tell them right now about where they at? They sitting around pouting, feeling sorry for themselves. Maybe they in a midlife crisis. Maybe they a young guy who done spent all this money on school and they can't find a good job. what would y'all tell them based on y'all's life experience, from y'all's childhood to where y'all sit right here in this chair?
Like I said before, everybody have a talent. Sit down and think about what you could be good at, and go to trade school or get with somebody to learn it. If you don't do that and get up off and put that thing down.
Mm-hmm. That phone down. Put that phone down.
Yeah, put that thing down till you learn something.
Mm-hmm.
And then have time to play with it.
That's right.
But now if you don't get it up here, our principal, Mr. Kane, he used to tell us in chapel in school on Friday, he say, now, you can copy your way out of here. But if you don't have nothing up there when you leave here, you through.
Right. You can cheat your way through school, but you ain't going to cheat your way through life.
You can't through life. You can't do it.
You got to go.
You got to earn it. And it's just as simple as that. Nothing from nothing, do what?
Leave nothing.
Nothing.
That's right.
0 plus 0 equals 0. I ain't no mathematician.
No.
Yeah, but now, all of it's zeros now.
It's all zeros.
Exactly.
You exactly right.
The only thing I can say is, like I said, I'm firm believer in work ethics, and work was going to kill you. Me and Sammy wouldn't be sitting here now, or nor you. I made you work. That's one thing I made Michael do. And people think, oh, Michael just got the turkey. What did he do? I said, no. He picked butter beans. He worked. He got out there and helped me do whatever I wanted him to, whether it was chopping firewood. Or, I remember my parents I used to be rough on him. Them coach, hey, throwing firewood. Hey, if he didn't catch it, guess what he's gonna do? Gonna knock him down. We'd throw firewood, and Grandmama Arnold and them is on his mama's side. Oh, y'all. They nicknamed him Blue Boy. You mistreating? I said, no, we ain't neither. I said, guess what? I said, and they got mad at me. And because I had to live my childhood through Michael. Michael had all this stuff growing up that I didn't have. And guess what? We couldn't have any more biological, so I wanted Michael to realize. So we started doing foster children, to realize what kind of parents he had. And that, to me, one of the best things that made him appreciate what he's had and how he's been raised, because all these children now, he ain't got it. And there's a lot of them out there right now. But it all starts, like I said, with the rearing of children and making them how to work and accountability. There's a lot of people out here, they think they parents. Well, they ain't parents. All they do is donors. They ain't donors. They don't know how to raise children. They have babies, and you can say what you want, and you can get mad at me. A lot of them have babies for it. And I don't care whether you're black, green, purple, green, right, whatever color it is, it ain't right to do that, because it ain't fair for the children, and it ain't fair for blue-collar folks like me and Sammy get out here and work and pay our tax money to give to all these sorry folks that don't want to do right. So, look, teach them how to work, teach them how to trade, make them get off the couch and get that switch out. Like I said, so be it, be it.
And then we need to kill this word here, that old-fashioned.
That's right.
Man, the world was built up on that.
Yeah.
No.
But they burying old-fashioned like they're burying peoples.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people used to do, but the world runs smooth.
That's right. Old-fashioned, I feel like, is what's going to be the word that saves the people, and it is going to be hard work. They still going to take a man and a woman to do certain things. There's a lot of jobs being replaced by technology, this AI we hear about. But I'm telling you, and I'm not, like I say, I ain't seen no robot lay no brick. I ain't seen no robot build a house. Right. I ain't seen a robot or Elon Musk create a device to finish concrete or hang sheetrock, But where is the men and women that call themselves Americans? I mean, I looked at this illegal immigration thing, and you can't hate somebody for coming over here and wanting to outwork us civilians and us true Americans that are all kind of colors and ethnicities. They ready to work. They ready to work. And so I'm like, if we don't get that back, it scares me, Bill Joe, and you might be right. We might be done got too late.
But now, I'm not mad with nobody coming to the United States trying to see about their family.
Right.
Because the people in the United States don't even see about their family.
That's right.
And they just let them drop. They have them and drop them.
Right.
But now them people working, they're like all nationality of people. It's good and bad in all of us.
Mm-hmm.
But now, them people come here,
They working.
they getting drowned. They're trying to get across the water where the dollar at.
That's right.
And I ain't mad at them.
I ain't either. Think about this. If that same crew had Butterbean, Timmy McCoy, Scott Steiner, Uncle Tommy, Paps, the list goes on, they wouldn't be over here to come get that money. But the reason they ain't no Paps, the reason they ain't no Scott Steiners no more, they ain't no Uncle Tommys, these characters that helped you mix mortar, where are they? I can tell you, it's you can't get mad at Jose. You can't get mad at Julio. He's taking that money and sending it back. Now, he might not be paying taxes. I think if they're going to be working, they need to pay the taxes. But you can't get mad at them.
No,
Because they ain't no Paps. I ain't met no 17-year-old Paps right now. I live over here on Mobley Road, and I got a farm. And I live right in front of high school. And I told my dad the other day, I've been living there since 2020. So 6 years I've been on that location. Not counting, I had it in 15. Me and Dad over there every day, bush hogging, working from bush axes to 5-foot bush hog, trying to get that pecan orchard in shape. I have yet to have one young man stop by my farm, be at my gate, and say, Mr. Michael, is there anything I can do over here to make a dollar?
and you
Not one.
You're not going to have it.
I grew up in Manchester. I still donate to Manchester Blue Devils. I still sponsor stuff here in Harris County. I've not had one person from families that I grew up with their kids have called me and say, is there anything I can do? Bush hog, can I spray weeds? Can I help you with the lawn? Not one. I ain't had one young man push a lawnmower up in my driveway and say, can you pay me $20 to help cut this grass out here? Not one.
You ain't going to find it, baby.
Not one. That scares me. It concerns me.
It's a dying culture. Work
It already
ethic.
it gone.
Yeah, I mean, even now when we hire people to go on the road, we do fun stuff. We get to hunt with these celebrities, Bill Joe. I know you watch some of our shows. We hanging with these people. Number one thing people do when you talk about giving them a job, they're like, well, how many hours we got to work? You know, I get X amount of dollars a day, but I don't want to be gone. I want my summers off, and you know, I don't want to travel, but I'll do 1 week gone, and then I'll stay home a week.
But now I have a guy working with me, and I be trying to tell them how to do something. They say, I'd rather do it like this. It's easier for me to do it like this. But I say, you paying me or I'm paying you?
There you go.
I say, if I tell you how to do it, if it's wrong, do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
It's funny. It's talking about Dad and you guys seeing what y'all did. I remember my dad was always, you're right, he did live his childhood through me. Like if it was a new racing bike, it might be too big for me. He'd buy it. He'd be like, get out there and ride. Like, Dad, I'm scared of this motorcycle. Man, I'd be out there with a brand new RM80 Suzuki, be the first 2-stroke with a mono shock on it, and Dad'd be over there with a scrape blade building me jumps. I'd stay skin up, man. And but then he'd buy me a couple little fun gifts. But every once in a blue moon, well, it was quite a bit. I remember, I never get this story. Dad, I come in, I was in there when my mom and Dad come home from work. He was all dirty. He said, boy, I got you something. In my mind, I'm thinking, he done went and got me a motorcycle. He done went and got me something, 4-wheeler, something. My dad done been working, doing good. And I went there and he said, look in the back of that truck. And we had some tomato plants or something he was wanting me to plant. He said, I got you something. He said, I bought you a brand new backhoe. And I said, and I'm thinking, man, he got me a backhoe, a tractor. And I'm like, man, this will be mine. And he said, and I walked out there and there was a shovel in the back. He said, he said, this is and I've used this on my kids and it's a little racing. He said, it's a Chinese backhoe. That's what he told me.
Yeah.
And I remember, and I've done that with my kids. Like, I got you a present. And they'll get old round point shovel. I said, I got you a Chinese backhoe for a present. And they're like, looking at that thing. He'll buy me a wood splitter, like a maul, like a split wood with. I bought you a present, boy. This is all yours. And I mean, running out there and to be a, big old, I'm like, come on, Dad, that ain't no present.
But now, I think back at when my daughter was small. I stayed in the probably about 2 years. And when I come home in the afternoon, my mother-in-law stayed up on the hill. And every day, she hear that truck come in. Here she come, because she looking for me. I just stop the balls, potato chips, or drink, the cookies or something. And then as soon as she get them, she hook me around my leg, get that pack, and then back up the street she go. That just tickled me to death. I said, that's what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing, too. You know, y'all talk about being tough and hard, spankings, working. But here's one thing that y'all have that y'all might realize y'all have. Another thing both of y'all have done, and I can speak personally on this, And I remember when I started working in the hunting industry, the first time I run around you, the first time I run around people in Manchester that was hard working, zero jealousy in making a living, calling in a turkey. And I remember it was you. And of course, Paw Paw was always, so proud of me. And not only was y'all hard, but the words of encouragement. I remember you won't remember it, but I run into you at a gas station, and I was just starting to work, running a camera. And I remember you hugged my neck. You said, "Little Waddell, come here, boy. So I'm proud of you." And hearing that from men like y'all not only was tough on people, but y'all encouraged way more people than y'all realized, not only through the example and being a mentor, teaching people these blue-collar trades, but when people did right, y'all were the first to hug them. Y'all wasn't kicking them. Y'all were hugging them.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing society has gotten off. When do you kick? When do you hug? And y'all were masters at that. Y'all knew when to kick, but you knew when to hug and come in and hug up on somebody and look them in the eye and tell them how well you was proud of them, how good you did. And that'll stick with me all my life.
I'm glad you mentioned that because, like I said, I've been around living right where I'm at, 50. Let's see, I'm trying to figure this out now. I'm over 50 years, but anyway, and I'll be the first to say it. Michael has been successful. I'm proud of him. Most everybody around the whole country is proud of Michael's success calling turkey. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? Some of the worst critics is right around the house, and I don't understand that because the thing about it, they jealous, they haters, they's haters. I don't know why you got to be that way. I don't hate Elon Musk because he's a billionaire or Jimmy. None of these folks I don't hate them. And I always tell them, every man's equal. We all crap between two shoes the same. But thing about it, I don't understand why you jealous of somebody's success. Well, I don't understand it. But they are. They're out there.
It's out there.
But now, the good Lord that make this world for everybody to be a billionaire or a millionaire.
That's right.
Because if everybody was rich, who gonna wait for who?
That's right.
But now, what you have, you earn it. What we have, we earn it.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. And like I said earlier, what for you, can't nobody take it from you.
That's right.
All you got to do is wake up, thank God you up. You might be hurting, but get up.
Get up and go.
Because you lay right there, you going to lay, that's where McCoy, Anderson, Marshall, Cop going to come get you.
Yep.
Exactly.
Right there, in that chair.
That's right.
And but now, life ain't easy.
No.
Here's what you make out of it.
Exactly right.
But now, if you don't get up and try to advance yourself in life, ain't nobody going to do it for you, just like we were just saying, because they putting you from it.
That's right. You said something earlier when we first started talking, and it's so true. And Paw Paw exemplifies this. If you ain't been through the hard, you don't know what easy is.
No.
If you only know easy, I can tell you, hard is going to kill you.
Yeah, you ain't going to make it.
But if you already been hard, one of the last little stories I tell, and I remember when Mama was alive, we talked about that. I looked at all these childhood photos, and Dad, he was lean and mean and probably 17, 18. Of course, I was coming along when I was 18. But if you look, when my dad was in his probably early 20s, when he first started making a little money working, building houses, I remember you see my dad getting a little chubby. Paw Paw was a little chubby right there. And I remember asking my mom, I said, "Man, look how skinny Dad was." And my mama told me this. She said, "Yeah, but we didn't have a lot. But when he started making money, I had enough money." She said, "I'd get to buying all them little snack cakes, things he didn't have when he was a kid." She said, I thought your daddy was running around on me. So I'd get up 2 o'clock in the morning. He'd been able to glass of milk and an oatmeal pie and a Swiss cake roll because he had it.
Never
worked on it. Never had something like that.
No.
So he gained weight because he could afford him some Little Debbie cakes.
Yeah.
Buy it, yep.
But once again, when you had it hard, how awesome is the feeling of in your house where you got electricity and to go in your cupboard and pour you a full glass of ice cold milk and eat you a Swiss cake roll in your living room in the middle of the night. You never take that for granted.
But now, I told my wife one day she wanted to go to town with, and I was with my little S10. I got an 88 S10. She said, "How you ain't go in the other truck? It's nasty in here." I said, "Sugar, if you want to go to town, get in the truck, Cause when we first married, we did what we walking, and
We were walking.
We walking. We got a yard full of cars. Now folks ain't coming to him.
That's right.
All this big up, but now I'm going to town and different.
That's right.
Exactly.
She got on in the truck. I know it needs back went out, but we used to have to walk to town.
That's better than walking, ain't it?
Yeah, rubber heel. Mr. Rubber Wheel be rubber heels anytime. If they do need some armor all on them.
They might need a little armor. They might need a couple pounds of pressure change in them, but they still get you there.
Exactly
Man,
right.
I'm so thankful for what Jesus Christ done blessed me with.
Amen
That's
to that,
exactly
Bill
right.
Joe.
Amen.
That's another
Amen.
thing, both of y'all. Y'all ain't never left that too. It's funny. I always saw that. You could see y'all's faith and what y'all believed in, even through the crazy shenanigans. You knew there was a higher power. You knew there was a Jesus and there was a God, and knew He was taking care of it, even when we didn't deserve it, even when y'all didn't deserve it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's there.
What never felt like y'all was entitled nothing. And again, one reason I thought having this long conversation with you two men is because for me, I'm grateful for people to hear this, and I'm grateful to y'all because y'all taught me they would not be a bone collector. I wouldn't be doing this podcast to be heard by whoever might hear it if it wasn't for what I saw in y'all. And I sat back and I watched and I learned. I also learned that I didn't have the confidence I could work at y'all's level, if you want to know the truth. I also learned that, even though I loved my dad and I wanted to always be around him, I didn't want to live with him forever.
Oh, no.
Because I knew we were going to be cutting firewood in July. Why? I didn't want to go mix mortar with you every day because I don't know that I could have hung in there. And I thought, man, I might have the edge on this turkey hunting. I might can do that a little better than Bill Joe and Paw Paw even. I don't know. But if you can make a living here, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do this just like y'all laid brick. And I did. We went after it. And so we all live in the American dream, man. We really are.
And like you say, cut that wood. You have to prepare in the choices you make in life. People used to see me July with a load of wood. Say, man, it's hot. What you going to do with a load of wood? I stacked that wood up, covered up. I said, now when it get cold, I'm going to be in the house drinking some hot chocolate and looking at Donahue.
Watching Donnie.
I'm not going to be out there in that cold wind.
We're going to be watching Sanford and Son, relaxing.
Bonanza, anything.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Stirring up that chocolate,
That's right.
sipping.
Yep, and they're going to be cold. Won't know where they can find some firewood.
Yeah.
But you done sweated and got yours.
But now when I was young, I would sell them a load, though.
That's right. You'd have enough to sell them a little load. You'd make another $100 on them when you still got plenty of wood.
Right.
Yeah, we chopped plenty of firewood. Michael remember we heated with it, and I tell you, I came back porch full of. Sammy remembered. People don't realize even now what we did, but we appreciate it. We appreciate what we did. We appreciate burning wood because guess what? Saved on money.
That's the best
It
thing.
didn't hurt us. Didn't hurt us.
No, it was best.
My wife said, you can't wait till it get cold.
I love to build a fire. You like to build a fire?
As soon as the frost hit.
Hey, one thing when we close this out right here, we'll close out soon. I want y'all to tell me, Bill Joe, when you think about, I've always thought when you think about soul cooking and rednecks and soul, whatever it is, it's almost like we always had something in common. Talking about what mama cooked. I mean, there ain't nobody ever complained. It definitely wasn't no sushi or no caviar, escargot.
It was food.
It was food. But growing up, and so that's why I always thought the cultures of a country white person, the black community, when it come to food, I still think it's the best eating. But what was your favorite wild game to eat? Was it deer, rabbit, turtle? What was your favorite? Fish, crappie, bluegill, bass?
I like that turtle and that rabbit and a coon.
You like to eat a coon?
Yeah.
Would you feed the coon out? Would you just kill him and cook him? If you could feed him out in like a rabbit pen, or would you just any coon from the wild? If you get
You get him out the wild. I don't want to see the coon.
I got you.
If he come out the swamp, I want him.
I got you.
Pie boiler. Sometimes debone him.
Mm-hmm.
Fry him and smother him down in that fall away gravy.
Now, what the fall away gravy? What all you put
That
it?
good thick brown gravy.
So what would that be? The grease? The grease?
Behind the
After you fry him,
Yep.
pull the majority of the grease off, put some flour in there.
Yep.
Let it good and brown, and pour that water in there, the broth off there where you boil them at. Mm-hmm. And let it simmer while the biscuit browning.
You ever put a little milk in there too, or just mostly water?
Just mostly broth off
the coon.
Yeah.
Or the rabbit.
Yeah.
You make your gravy behind.
It makes some fresh biscuits.
And sometimes make a little cheese biscuit on. Put a half of them regular biscuit and the other half cheese biscuit.
There you go.
Come on. God.
Yeah, I got to go eat some rabbit. I used to call him, man, I'm having a rabbit and gravy up here. He's, we're gonna get some this year. We're gonna cook them up. I'm telling you, we're gonna go back old school.
I'm gonna let you know about fall to weight then.
I'll be there. You tell me, I'll be there.
Fall to weight.
I'll be there. What about like the turtles, like them snapping turtles, like them old loggerheads?
Yeah.
We just talked about that the other day.
Doing the same way, but I don't feel like cleaning them no more.
There's a lot of work to clean old snapping turtles.
Man,
they work. I remember seeing. Y'all remember Dixie Dixon lived over in Booger Bottom? Did you ever meet him?
Yeah, I knew him.
Dickie Dixon.
Dickie Dixon.
Yeah,
Not Dixie. Dickie Dixon or Dixon. I forget.
Yeah.
But he lived over in Booger Bottom right past Dad.
Cane Creek Church.
Yeah, I bricked up his house.
Yeah, right past Cane Creek Church.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, every snapping turtle I would catch, he would give me $20. And back then, $20, that was a lot.
Yeah. $20 a lot now.
And he would give me $20, and I'd catch one. There's a swamp down below our house on that dirt road, and every once in a while we would catch and I think he mainly did it because he knew I was young, and he'd give me a $20 bill, and that I was rich. And he would take him. The turtle would be alive. He'd take him and clean him and eat him. And
it's a lot of work. I remember Paw Paw Waddell used to do that.
Him and Claudine would have it.
Yeah, he'd take a half a day to clean him. He'd boil that water, throw him in there live.
But I do. You take a channel lock and try to pull the head out and take the action screw, cut it off. He snatch your head back. But now I learned. I go in there, take him out the bale. Let him walk around because the head gonna come out. I get right behind him, take my pistol, shoot him right back of the head.
Let the head pop him when his head's out.
Yeah. In about 5 minutes, I let him bleed just a little bit, and that water already be jumping.
Yeah.
And I throw him off in there.
Throw the D-headed turtle in there. Don't kill him.
Slide him off in there, and he cleaned himself almost.
Yeah, Waller. Yeah, oh yeah.
He'd descale himself.
Just like a wrangler in a washing machine. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
yeah, that's how you do it.
I know what some of them city folks be thinking that's cruel, and they sitting there eating lobster. They throw them in whole.
Oh,
you know, they still living. They said them lobster be squealing. You ever heard they be squealing when they throw them in that hot water?
Then my cousin who just died, TL, people talking about season for everything, you know. Mm-hmm. Rabbit season. He said, I have all the seasoning in the cabin. all I need to do is kill him. I got some black pepper salt up there.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
What about fish? What was your favorite fish? Did y'all eat a good bit of bass and brim? And
I eat all that when they're fried. But now, them scale fishes now don't mess with my gouch.
So the scale
catfish is the best for me now.
So like a shell cracker, a crap.
But now I'm gonna eat some brim. Your dad tell everybody got the big brim.
He got the biggest, prettiest bluegill in there I've ever seen.
But now I'm gonna go up there and get me 10 or 12.
Man, and do you scale them or you fillet them? You scale them.
Sometimes I scale them, but majority of the time I skin them.
Just skin them and fillet it out and get that big piece of white meat. Yeah.
And some black-eyed, either purple hood peas or okra, and some good greasy cornbread.
Maybe that's what you need to do. When you retire from the brick mason, you just need to have an old soul cooking shack over there. Man, we'd be there every day.
He could do it.
Bill Joe could run a restaurant.
He can cook.
But now I got too old to be bothered with all the folks in here.
Cooking up for you and who you got around you, your loved ones.
Yep. I can't.
Do you remember eating bass? Did y'all used to eat a lot of bass when y'all was a kid? Like a largemouth bass.
Oh yeah.
You know, now that you liable to be, if somebody seen you flay a bass out, and that's what's funny. I was telling Mason the other day, my older boy is a big bass fisherman, and Ryan Wakenick, who works here, is a big bass fisherman. And, you know, they get to fussing about, you hear these people online talking about these new technology, how to catch these bass, whether it's live scope or whatever, and you always got these arguments in the hunting and fishing industry about how somebody does it. And when I was a kid, you went fishing with Paw Paw or your buddies. Every fish you caught, big and little, they was on a string, and they went back and they got released in Lake Crisco. Exactly. Wasn't no catch and release.
But now they say if they're big enough to bite, they're big enough to eat.
I love big.
But now, a fish mess themselves up.
Uh-huh.
If they keep their mouth closed, they wouldn't get caught.
That's exactly right. Keep your
Yeah.
Well, I can't tell
Well, I
you.
enjoy it with y'all this morning.
Man, thank you both, Paw Paw, Bill Joe. Like I said, it means more to me than y'all realize. And if nothing more to take away is thank y'all for what y'all did for me and being an example of hard working and knowing that I deserved a spanking when I got one. Give me enough room to get into mischief. But what was that saying y'all would say? If you're going to be stupid, you better be tough.
You got to be tough.
And so I'm very thankful that I had men like y'all in my life. And I think the world would be better off if there's more men like y'all around these kids and showing people and how to be thankful for things. And there ain't nothing I got. I feel like I've been blessed beyond what I deserve, but I never have lost the roots of where I come from. However, I will say there's things like you were talking about that I do stay away from because I don't want some of that same stuff. A lot of people went in different directions where I was raised, just like where you was raised, and I try not to stay around it. I don't want to be around somebody's going to try to pull you back into an abyss.
If you stay in the wood yard, trash will get in your eye, baby.
You're right. You're right.
Keep playing out there in the wood yard.
That's right.
Gonna get in your eye.
Yeah, well, I heard. I think it was Blake Shelton. He said, "Man, if you hanging around folks that always dealing with shit, sooner or later that shit gonna get on you."
Exactly. You can
Ain't
be
that
stinking.
true?
You're gonna be
That's the
stinking
truth.
just like they do.
That is absolutely true.
I got the answer.
That's probably a job right there. Bill Joe, Paw Paw, thank y'all for joining us. Bill Joe got another big old brick mason job.
There you go.
Thank y'all for joining us.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
y'all. Hey, I know y'all got to get, but hey, before we get out of here, important, Bill Joe, two things. I'm gonna give a bottle because I know y'all got wives. Now we've been talking about blue collar stuff. This ain't blue collar. This is a fine bottle of wine that I want y'all to bring back to Sasa, Paw Paw, and you to your beautiful wife, and you tell Miss Ellison that I love her, I miss her, and y'all bring this. And that's from Cronky out in California, his vineyard. And I wanted to give y'all both. I know y'all not big cigar smokers, but Cigars International, I want y'all to go when y'all get a chance, smoke you a fine cigar, have you a glass of wine. This is from Cigars International, about a $10 or $15 stick right there.
Ooh,
enjoy y'all success. Here
This
go,
thing
Paw
gonna make me high in reefer.
You're going to have to get that Muddy Waters out tonight and start listening to that. Maybe get that Domino Fat song playing.
There you go.
Thank y'all for joining
Appreciate
us.
that,
Yes,
baby.
sir.
Yes,
Good
sir.
deal.
Thank you,
Good
Bill
deal.
Joe. Love you, man.
Love you.
Love you, Paw Paw.
Love you, Stanley. Love you, Michael.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good deal.